Man, Sky in the building, man.
Yeah. We're back with another episode for the love of the game. The crew is back. Got a special guest on. Two of my special guests. A friend of the show, Mr. Cavern, Big Bro. And Mr. Hamilton. How you doing, sir?
I'm all right. I'm all right.
Former
How's
great.
everybody?
Everybody.
All is well, brother.
No, yeah,
That's
but
what's
we
up.
good, man. We good.
So Mr. Hamilton, great guy, former Gator, double crack, right, Mr. Hamilton?
Yes, sir.
Florida Gator alumni, very well respected man, connected to got a lot of deep Gator ties, man. So we're here to chop it up. First time on the show, we're here to chop it up about what's going on at Florida. We in the national news. Like, we made to the New York Times, man. Like, Florida is a dumpster fire right now, bro. It's crazy. It's a lot going on at UF, man. So we here to undress it all, man, and give Mr. Hamilton, give the people and us, his opinion on and just his thoughts on what's going on with our Florida Gators. So, and Cav too gonna get his opinion.
Yeah.
So we live, man. So how was that? First of all, I want to say, how was everybody's week? How was everybody's weekend? Zay, how was your week parade, man?
I'm so glad that you just asked me. You tried to bypass our championship. You tried. You kept trying. Listen, bro. I'm just feeling back to back right now. I'm feeling about back to back drinks. I'm on that liquor right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. My week going pretty good, brother. Pretty good.
Mr. Hamilton, you see what I have to deal with.
Mr. Hamilton, listen. The first championship, I was cool. But this time, it's over with. I'm going crazy. Yeah, I definitely don't know how to act. I don't know how to act, Mr. Hamilton. I don't know how to act.
I hear you, man. Yeah, a broke clock,
Hey,
a broke clock right twice a day, man. So
I said that. No, broke ankles, headshot, ACL.
Hey, let's not
Twice
forget.
today.
Let's not forget we wasn't offsides on that call that they had at Alabama. So we would have been three. It would have been three-peat when they called that offsides on that punt.
Y'all was talking about that.
Yeah, we just gonna nip that in the bud right there. So it could have been a three-peat. A dead clock ain't wrong 3 times a day now.
Yeah.
Go ahead and nip that in the bud right there now.
How was it 3-peat?
Larry, you knew it would have been 3-peat. We
3 in a row.
won 3 in a row, bro. You tripping?
No, in 2020 we beat y'all.
Oh, barely.
No, I'm talking about the national championship game when they called that outside. We were playing Alabama. That's what I'm talking about.
You
ain't been relevant in a long time, Larry. So we ain't talking about what you talking
about. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Our program just started 7 years ago.
Here we go.
Right.
Last time I checked, we just won the national championship now. That's the last time I checked, and we started
7 years ago,
and we don't won the SEC East the last 3 years. Now that's the last time I checked.
No, y'all haven't. Last 2. Y'all ain't won the SEC last 3. Y'all ain't win it last year.
They won the
last year.
They won the East.
Alabama won the SEC.
Oh, the East.
I said the East. I said
okay, yeah.
I said the East. I said the East.
Okay, I give you that.
Yeah, okay.
No, the last 2. Last 2.
21.
Yeah,
22.
Last 2.
The last 2 years, we done won the East.
Well, that should have wrapped now, so we don't got to talk about it. Y'all enjoy it. It won't happen no more.
We won't win the East anymore. That's what you saying?
I'm talking about championship. Nobody care about no East. You ain't gonna win no championship. Y'all gonna go another 40 years.
So you saying we done winning the national championship?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. That's fair. That's fair.
It's a wrap.
They said the same thing a couple years ago too. So Yeah, I mean, you
What?
know,
It's around.
I mean, last time I checked, I was told that Stetson Bennett wasn't gonna win me no national championship. You remember that, Larry? You
I
remember
believe
that?
I
Then
believe
you didn't even
All right.
believe he would go win you a national championship.
Damn
You
sure
better,
did.
you better go ask Larry. You better ask Larry.
Yeah,
He said it. Oh,
You
okay.
better ask Larry.
Okay. I live with.
Don't play with me.
Okay,
Okay.
I give you that one. I
Hey,
give you that one.
he would defend Stetson Bennett.
No, I knew what Stetson can do for me. That,
All right.
you don't,
Well,
don't
Stetson
do that.
going to sell insurance now, so
Yeah,
he ain't gonna be
he
that.
at Raising Cane's. You seen him at Raising Cane's? That's where he gonna be working at.
He done did what he's supposed to do for me. I don't care what he do now.
Tell him stay on, huh?
Hey, he can go wherever he want to go in the state of Georgia, and get whatever he want.
Man, whatever. Anyway,
Yeah, that man, he a Georgia legend, bro. He can literally, he got free food for the rest of his life. That shit crazy.
Anything he want. Anything
so
he
let me
want.
ask y'all then. You think he a Hall of Famer? College football Hall of Famer?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that second
Yeah.
ring, yeah. I think
Yeah.
that, man.
No,
No, he not no
Why?
college football
Okay,
Hall of
okay,
Famer.
Larry. Okay, Larry. Why not? And I'm not trying to pick a fight. I'm just asking why not.
the numbers don't scream Hall of Fame.
Right.
The numbers scream game manager.
Okay, that's fair. So is Bryce Young gonna be a Hall of Famer?
He won the Heisman. His numbers
Yeah,
suck.
he'll be a Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that's
win the Heisman.
that's the thing that guarantees that damn near walk into the college if you win the Heisman.
Okay, you say Stetson was a game manager. Why do you say that?
Because if we looking at his numbers, he hasn't had a game where you say, "Wow, Stetson Bennett won that game for them."
He didn't
think
do
he
that
Them
won
against
the
last, them
Ohio
last
State.
two,
I think
them
he won
last
the
two
Peach Bowl
games,
for
yeah.
him.
I so that's the games I say he won for him.
He didn't do that against Ohio State.
Listen, let's have a real conversation. Injuries played a big part in those game changing.
Go, bro.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
Why everybody say that? Everybody say it.
Okay, Mr. Hamilton, I got a question for you, Mr. Hamilton. I got a question for you.
Okay.
If we're gonna use injuries, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so if I say to you, my number one pass rusher did not play that game, does that account for anything if Ohio State had to beat us?
If you tell me your
you
number
froze
one
up
pass rusher didn't play, does that factor in if Ohio State had won?
Yes, sir.
I believe so. Yeah, absolutely.
Why?
Because that's a very large component on your team. That's a very big part of your team.
And I'm glad you said that, Mr. Hamilton. So why do we recruit?
Say that again.
Why do you recruit?
Just so you have somebody. I mean, next man up.
Exactly. So I don't want to hear shit about no injuries. Next man up. I don't want to hear nothing about no injuries.
No,
Mr. Hamilton, don't do that to me.
Hey, tell him the truth, Mr. Hamilton. Tell him the truth.
Hold on now. The thing is, there ain't nobody behind there. You don't recruit two Marvin Harrisons. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with what he's saying.
That's like saying you can recruit a second T.O. or a second Randy Moss. I don't give a damn what you do. You can recruit your ass off. Ain't too many players that's game breakers.
Okay, Mr. Hamilton. I'm glad you said, Mr. Hamilton.
Is Adam Anderson a game breaker?
I'm glad you said that, Mr. Hamilton. I'm glad you said that. Mind you, we've been without our number one pass rusher for damn near the entire season.
Yeah,
we still had the number one defense in the country. So why do you recruit again?
But let me tell you the difference between offense and defense. One play on defense very rarely wins a game. One play on offense can damn sure win a game.
I mean, Stetson threw an interception when we were down 14.
I get it, but I'm just saying one play on offense is a bit different because it's the playmakers. I get what you're saying. Your pass rusher can only change the game if the game goes his way. But the receivers and the running backs and the quarterback control the game. If you got
control what covers you in too.
Yeah, if you got a top receiver, all he got to do is get loose. A defender got to work to get his money. How many defenders you gonna see that rack up 3-4 sacks in a game? You ain't gonna
But
see that a lot. But you'll see a receiver rack up 3-4 touchdowns.
I agree with you, Mr. Hamilton. However, a defender affects the game in many different ways. For example, here's my example. Jalen Carter always takes up 2 blocks. When Jalen Carter takes up 2 blocks, it's open the door for anybody else. So the receivers that you're talking about, when you got another playmaker on the other side of the field and he's taking up 2 guys away, then that one that nobody can cover gonna always do what they got to do on the other side of the field. You see what I'm saying? You see how that work hand in hand?
But the point, look, this is what I'm gonna say. This is what I'm gonna say before Hamilton get his point across. If y'all lost Jalen Carter and y'all defenses just started giving up big plays left and right, then you can use that excuse like Ohio State can use the Marvin Harrison excuse, because Jalen Carter is just as much of a game changer as Marvin Harrison. Like that man, you know what I'm saying? That middle pressure, you can't do nothing about that. You know what I'm saying? You can't really.
RJ, I understand that, RJ, but why do you recruit, man? Why do you recruit?
You can't find another Jalen Carter though, bro. That's what this is what I try.
I get that, RJ. So that's why it's very vital that you don't depend on one guy. That's important.
Marvin Harrison wouldn't even start last year, bro. He wouldn't even start.
He the star this year. He's that dude. He's that dude.
No, he ain't. No, he ain't. RJ, really, Jackson is the dude. He the dude. Marvin Harrison did his thing this year. You feel me?
Yeah,
but it's not.
What about when Ted Ginn went out? What about that? What about when he went out? He was definitely part of Ohio State.
Ted Ginn a special team player, all-purpose player. Like, come on, man.
Ohio State team, he was a big component to their team, bro.
Come on, man. Y'all see how y'all changed?
Y'all just changed up.
But Ted Ginn is not Marvin Harrison Jr., bro.
No,
Marvin Harrison Jr. gonna change up your whole coverage because he out there.
RJ, for that Ohio State team, he did everything on that team.
He did everything.
He did everything.
Ted Ginn was equivalent to Percy Harvin when Percy Harvin was in.
Facts.
Y'all
So hold on. So Ted Ginn didn't do everything for that Ohio State team. He
like Deebo Samuel. Like they use him like that.
He did everything,
bro.
Y'all went out, bro. It was a weapon.
Y'all not remembering correctly, bro. Yes, Ted Ginn was a beast when he was returning punts and all that stuff. Ted Ginn never had over 700 yards receiving in a season.
Yeah, he did. I just looked the stats up. He did.
That ain't Marvin Harrison. That's not game changer. You scoring 9 touch. Your best season, you scored 9 touchdowns. That ain't game breaker.
Right. But I'm telling you, for that offense though,
yeah,
the big component. He was the weapon.
But who had the most receiving yards on that team? Exactly, it wasn't him.
Who was it?
Hamilton, can I ask you a question, sir?
I'm listening.
Did you play sports growing up in your life? Okay, so at what point do you say to yourself or your son or your daughter, if they play sports, that the reason you lost the game is because your best player got hurt? At what point do you say that?
I mean, let's be honest. Let's have a real conversation, right?
Okay.
If you take the best, okay, let's keep it simple. LeBron James leaves Cleveland. What they turn into?
they turn into shit.
This is what happened, bro. So just imagine, I'm a Titans fan, right? You know I'm a Titans fan, right? So if we went to the Super Bowl and we played a team and Derrick Henry got hurt, bro, in the first quarter, do you think we the same Titan team, bro, without Derrick Henry, bro? That's what I'm saying.
That's my point, RJ. We listen, and here's my point. Adonis Mitchell played the first game and the last game. The first game we played, we put up 50+ points with Adonis Mitchell on the outside, creating plays. The last game we played, we put up 65 points with Adonis Mitchell on the outside. Those games in between, we won because we had backup players. So here's my point. I understand what you guys saying. Don't get me wrong. If them kids didn't get hurt, then the outcome may have been different. I don't
May
know.
have been, bro. Y'all won by 1 point.
Okay, Mr. Hamilton. If that's the case, then Nolan Smith is out.
But that's what I'm trying to tell you, bro. Defenders cannot. Very rarely does a defender score a touchdown. He may change the game, but that's dependent. How many games did Nolan Smith change that play, and he altered the game by himself?
No.
How many games? How many games did my number one receiver on the outside did not play?
Who's your number one receiver on the outside?
Adonis Mitchell.
Your number one receiver is Brock.
No.
If y'all lost Bowers, bro, y'all offense would not be what it is right now.
No. Don't do that. Don't do that. My number one receiver was injured damn near the entire year.
The difference between your number one receiver, right, and Ohio State's number one receiver, your number one receiver was the number 1 to 5 best receiver in the country, and his backup was number 2 to 6, and his backup was number 3 to 7. And that is called recruiting. Okay, and I respect that, but the reality is, it's a bunch of top recruits that got recruited that didn't turn into nothing. It's not really
so that's called development.
Okay,
and that's another thing that Kirby does.
Okay, and I get you, but tell me how many teams recruited another Randy Moss? How many teams recruited another Percy Harvin?
That's not our fault, sir.
I'm not blaming you for the recruiting side. What I'm saying is the reality is they lost their best player of that game. That dude was changing that game single-handedly. That's like imagine if the Jaguars, right? If the Jaguars that's playing tonight. Imagine if Asante Samuel Jr. wasn't in that game.
I don't watch NFL football.
That's 3 interceptions off the board.
I don't know because I don't watch NFL football. I don't know what's going on.
But my dogs are telling me Asante had 3 interceptions by himself.
Yeah.
That's game changer. If you got one dude that's wrecking the game and that guy goes out, it may not even be the best player all the time. It just may be a dude that's going off. And if that player goes out, it changes the game.
Okay, I get that. So what about the people around him?
Hey, everybody ain't able. How many times?
So how is that our fault?
I'm not blaming you. I'm just saying.
Yeah, of course. You are saying.
Come on, bro. If you being real,
this is what you're saying. If this player didn't get hurt, if that player didn't get hurt, hell, if we had a 5-star quarterback for every year, we'll fucking win the national championship. That ain't our fault, bro.
I'm not blaming you. I'm just telling you to take a real approach. Like every Georgia football fan was saying, they took a breath of fresh air when Marvin Harrison went out that game. Be honest.
I agree with you.
Okay,
what pisses me off the most is the fact that people downplay other people's success because somebody else got fucking hurt. That don't make sense to me, man.
Bro, come on, bro. The reality is if Draymond Green don't get suspended from the game, the Cleveland Cavs probably never wins the championship. I'm a Braun fan, but that's the reality. There are things that happen in sports in a moment that completely alters the game.
I agree with that. But in the same breath, bro, you can't say your championship don't matter because those players got hurt.
I'm not saying that. Y'all won. Won with what y'all had. Y'all played the game. But the reality is
y'all had some lucky breaks just like every other championship team. Exactly. Every other championship team had lucky breaks.
So why every other championship team never have to go through the shit that we go through? Nobody else talk about other folks having lucky breaks during their season when they win a national championship. Nobody else talks about that.
It's also about the when it happened. It happened during it ain't like it's a regular season game. It was in the playoffs.
Yeah, it was a game everybody watched.
Everybody watching, and the game was won by 1 point. Come on, man. The most sensible person would know that was an important moment.
It's Mr. Hamilton. Okay. Yeah. I'm glad you said that.
Mm-hmm.
the objective on that last drive for Ohio State, the objective was to do what? Get in what?
Either get in field goal position or to score a touchdown.
Okay, did they get in field goal position? Yes
I
or no?
didn't watch it, so I was.
Yeah, they got in field goal
did they
position.
get in field goal position?
Yeah, they got in field goal position.
They got in field goal position. They
really.
got. No, I don't want to hear that shit. They got in field goal position on first down. That's when they got in field goal position. So they had plenty of opportunity to win the football game.
Okay.
Despite Marvin Harrison getting hurt, they had plenty of opportunity to win the football game. So obviously, they didn't fucking care that the fact they cared that the fact that he got hurt, but they still went out to play the game to win the game.
Okay.
So why is it that despite Marvin getting hurt, they still had the opportunity to win the field goal game? I mean, to win the game, but they missed. They missed the field goal.
Well, the reality is most field goal kickers in college football today suspect. That's first and foremost. But secondly, that you are absolutely right. They had one job to do. They didn't do it. But that wasn't because of Georgia. That was because of them. So that's on them. Just like the fact of the matter is, y'all won by 1 point. It's on y'all. Y'all won the championship. Congratulations. But let's not act like it didn't matter, is all I'm saying. Just like I rock with LeBron. LeBron is my favorite player. To me, he's the GOAT. But that Warriors championship ain't what they make it seem. Because there was a lot of things that happened that allowed for certain shit to go on. But
that's fair. But to counter that argument, I agree with you because I'm a Warriors fan. And when Draymond got kicked out, I was
you just need to say you a super team fan. That's what you.
No, Mr. Hamilton.
No, I've been rocking with Curry for a while.
I'm just messing with you, bro. I'm just messing with you.
Okay, I've been rocking with Curry for a while. And not to mention, they ain't the first team to become a super team. And on top of that. Never mind. We ain't gonna even get in that debate.
Yeah, don't forget.
But what? No. See, so I'm glad you brought that up, Mr. Hamilton, because now I'm finna talk about it. As it comes to a super team, why? Let me ask you this question first. Why do you say that they were a super team?
Who? The Warriors?
Yes, sir.
The moment they went and signed KD, they became a super team.
Yeah.
Everything else was homegrown, so I can't call it a super team.
Okay, Mr. Hamilton.
And I think Draymond overrated as hell, but I can't call it a super team.
He does what he's supposed to do.
He's a glorified role player.
He does what he's supposed to do in his role.
But they make him seem like much more than he actually is.
It's because he be going to the All-Star game, though.
To be honest, Mr. Hamilton, without him, they ain't got no heartbeat.
I get that.
I'm gonna keep it a buck with you.
I respect that, but
they're gonna get pumped without him.
Draymond Green on any other NBA team is.
I agree with you.
Yeah,
I agree. But I will say this about Dre. Mr. Hamilton. He's smart as hell when it comes to that basketball.
Oh yeah.
So I can't say I won't say that he won't be shit anywhere else. However, I do understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because I believe that he would, no matter where he at, he would figure it out. That's just what I believe.
Okay.
But back to KD and the super team. Mr. Hamilton, if you had the opportunity to go anywhere in the country to play basketball and somebody come to your door and say, "Hey, bro, we're gonna make it easy for you."
Yeah, you don't even have to further that question. I'm not joining the team that spanked me the year before.
Yeah, I agree. I can't do it.
I understand that. I understand that.
That to me, that's just sucker. I mean, that's okay. I ain't built like that.
And I'm glad you said, and I'm glad you said that. When you go to the NBA, what's your number one goal? To do what?
Win a ring.
I mean, it depends on
how many
to get that check or to get a ring.
How many championships you think Damian Lillard gonna win?
None.
No.
Okay. Why?
I wouldn't say
because he's too loyal to the Portland Trailblazers.
Okay. All right. And what has Portland done for him?
Absolutely nothing.
Paid him.
That rests my case.
But my thing is with KD, so the Warriors the only team he could have won a championship with.
No, I don't.
It
I
did
don't say
pay him.
that, RJ. But what I like about Golden State team is the fact that they move the basketball. Everything is not individual based basketball. So so I believe that Kevin Durant wanted to go somewhere where it's basketball. Because otherwise everything is
it's
isolation.
not really basketball though. Bro.
He could have went to the Cavs. He could have won a championship on the Cavs. He ain't had to go to the Warriors. He just didn't want to play with LeBron. He could have won a championship
with playing with LeBron.
Yeah. If LeBron and KD was on the same team, bro, that wouldn't even be fair.
I'm not saying that he wouldn't. I'm not saying that he wouldn't. However, I think it would have been a little tougher.
Nah,
in my opinion.
KD and LeBron. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That would.
I think it would have been. I think it would have been a little tougher.
Man,
simply because, bro. If you watch it, and you're a LeBron fan, Mr. Hamilton, everything goes through LeBron. Everything. When LeBron was in his prime, everything went through LeBron.
Yeah.
So I believe, and it's just my opinion, that KD wouldn't have liked the fact that one, he was second fiddle.
I mean, he was second fiddle on Golden State.
But see, but the thing is, Mr. Hamilton, Curry wasn't like that. Curry wasn't going out saying I'm the man. Steve Kerr was running shit through KD many a times. So he might have felt like he was a second fiddle, but honestly, they were going through him in order to run their offense. So, like I was saying before, everything I believe would have went through LeBron, and it would have been one of those Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant headbutt type thing.
KD would have been eating on LeBron team. LeBron would have had KD looking like goddamn Superman out there.
It's just because LeBron passed the ball, bro. That's what he do. You know what I'm saying? He'll pass. He ain't trying to get no bucket. He is, but he ain't.
But you got to understand, bro.
You just lied. You just lied like hell.
You got to understand, bro. Everything goes through LeBron, and everybody is standing and watching. So you don't believe that Kevin Durant, would have been upset for just standing in the fucking corner?
I mean,
on the basketball.
Kyrie did it.
According to KD himself, he ain't like playing for Golden State. So it looked like he'll be, and the way he playing in Brooklyn right now, it look like no matter where he go, he gonna be upset. Because he was upset in OKC, he was upset in Golden State, he was upset in Brooklyn.
I don't think I heard nothing about him.
Him and Draymond got into it.
Just go.
I mean, they got into it.
No.
They was on the third peat. They were trying to go for three. Then
KD did an interview with the female. I forgot her name. The little dark black female, Jordan something, and he said
she be on Bleacher Report.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he did an interview. He said he didn't enjoy his time there. He felt like he was told one thing, and then when he got there, it was something else, and then he was.
Oh, I gotta go see that. I gotta go see that interview.
He said it out his own mouth.
I gotta go see that interview.
He in Brooklyn now.
I think he in Brooklyn because of Draymond Green. To be honest with you, that's why I think he in Brooklyn.
Listen,
that's just my opinion.
I can guarantee you this: as much as Golden State act like they love Draymond, they ain't choosing Draymond over KD.
Right. So KD left.
Yeah, but if they wanted him, if he was leaving because of Draymond, they would have got Draymond ass up out of there.
Nah, he wanted to be out too. He wanted to be out.
Yeah.
Cab, what's your take on him, Cab, bro?
My take on what? My bad.
No, you're good.
On LeBron? On LeBron?
I guess we can go back to the
football.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think multiple things are true. I don't think it's a knock to say that Georgia's a good team. I think they took advantage of they took care of business. They did what they supposed to do. I think injuries are a part of the game. I don't understand why UGA fans are so defensive about it. Like, I mean, it's kind of, going back to like that Ted Ginn example, like, yeah, like absolutely, we took advantage of Ted Ginn not being out there. At the end of the day, I got a championship, and I don't really give a shit that Ted Ginn didn't play. If I was, I tell y'all all the time, man, like, I don't understand why, like, Georgia fan, I get it, like, they ain't been shit for a really long time. The state hasn't been shit for a really long time, and they, you know, like, so I get it. I get the beat down syndrome. But like, man, like, carry yourself like a champion, man. You think I'm arguing and going back? I've told y'all before, the minute UF win a championship, like, you can't tell me shit, right? I'm not arguing with you right now. We 6-6. We stink. I'm not arguing with nobody. So the minute that when it comes back around our time, you think I'm arguing about this player didn't do this and this player didn't do that, and that's the reason why I want to show. I don't give a shit. My school just got a championship. So I told them before, I'm gonna tell them again, man, carry yourself like a champion. You don't have nothing to
you ain't got nothing to explain to
anybody.
No,
nothing.
But Kevin, here's the issue I have, Kevin. Just like you said that thing about Ted Ginn. You know what Larry would say? Oh man, that didn't matter. That's what Larry would say. And then when Alabama player goes down, and then Marvin Harris players go down, then Ohio State player go down. You know what Larry say? That y'all won because they went down. That's why I have an issue, Mr. Cabot. That's why.
But hold on though, and listen, you more entitled to feel the way you want to feel. But let me give you an example. In 2020, the last time we beat UGA, it would be crazy of me to sit here and say that, like, we didn't benefit from the fact that, like, what's the safety, the number 2 LeCount kid cracked his skull like the Saturday before we played. I would be a fool to say that we didn't benefit from that. I would be a fool to say, I think that the UGA had another player on that. I think it was a linebacker who was out in that game. I would be a fool to say we didn't take advantage of it. You think I give a shit? You think I care that, oh man, you guys only won because them players didn't play? I don't give a shit. I don't care. I won the game.
So, I get that, again, Mr. Cabot.
Like y'all, I mean, listen, you should feel however you want to feel, but I'm speaking from my perspective, like, you wasting time arguing with people because, like, man, like, nobody's ever gonna see it from your perspective because we not UGA fans. And you're right. You're right. Hold on now. I'll listen to you for like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But I do think that, like, it absolutely helped. Like, you just can't tell me that losing them 2 receivers last year didn't help UGA. Does it matter? No, because at the end of the day, you did what you had to do. You were the champion. Did it matter that Marvin Harrison got knocked out of the game? Well, I mean, like, when you look at it from the perspective of this, he had his last catch, maybe like midway through the second quarter, and then Ubuqua, Fleming, and other guys stepped up and made plays. So at the end of the day, Ohio State was still in position to win that game when Georgia started to roll coverage that way. So all I can tell you is this, man, like, y'all the champions. Y'all had a great season. Y'all were a great team. You proved a lot of people wrong. Stop feeling like you got to defend that shit all the time, man. You are the champion. Carry yourself like a champion.
I get that, sir, but all I want is respect. And
I just gave it to you.
I know, I get, and I appreciate that from you. I 1,000.
So you want it from Larry? That's what it is.
No, but here's the thing. When you beat me in 2020. I said y'all kicked our ass, but I didn't talk about my injuries. But if I did talk about my injuries, the first thing Larry gonna say is, "Oh shit, that didn't even matter." You see what I'm saying? Y'all kicked my ass, and y'all did kick my ass in 2020. But that's what I'm gonna say.
I'm gonna say this though, and y'all know Larrick is my boy, and I love him to death. But y'all give him way too much energy. Like,
you're right.
You already know who you're dealing with. Like,
you're right.
You know who you're dealing with. So when he say that shit to rile y'allself up, bro, act like a champion. All right, Larry, cool, bet.
Well, Cam, let me say this.
I just want some respect.
Let me say this. Only reason why I would say that, though, going back to 2020, our offense was so great in the league. I know damn well they weren't going to stop Kyle Trask, Kyle Pitt, Kadarius Toney, Trayvon Grimes. I knew they weren't going to stop us at all.
But Larry,
we stopped them a year before. Sorry.
But
Larry, you know how
but
many injuries we had that year?
yeah, that's what I'm saying,
Look,
Larry. Like
look,
we would be lying to ourselves if we ain't benefit from LeCount
Oh,
and
of course.
somebody else being out. So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think it's,
yeah.
But
I,
then
I
we
think
get
you
pissed
can
I
at
say
thought
that.
Jordan
that.
David
That's
didn't
what I'm
play.
saying.
And
That's what I'm saying.
But Kyle, we don't bring that up. I don't even bring that up. I don't even care about that. I mean,
Agreed. Like that's what I'm
yeah,
saying, bro.
we
Like
lost.
yeah, move on, right?
but we'd also be lying to ourselves. We really gonna sit here and say that Ted Ginn would have made a difference in that Ohio State game. Come on, man.
No, that's I went back to that because that was the example they gave in the
Oh,
beginning,
okay.
right? That's
Yeah.
the only reason why I went
It,
back.
Oh,
it is. Hey, how y'all know?
Come
Like,
on,
from the kickoff, from the start, bro. How
come
y'all
on,
know?
bro.
Like, how
I
y'all
get it.
know?
How many
But
times?
how do y'all know though?
Because he
How
played
do
in
you
more
know?
than one college football game. He's never had a multi kickoff return. What game did Ted Ginn win?
I think we're giving Ted Ginn way too much credit,
For
to be honest.
real?
That's a whole nother
Y'all act
conversation.
like this was Randy Moss or goddamn
Yeah.
out
We
there.
giving
Nah,
him
but I
way
look
too
at it
much.
like this though. See, I'm a Lakers fan, and every time I bring up their 2020 championship, they always say it's a Mickey Mouse ring, bubble ring. I was just like Scott, and I used to argue it, bro. But now I'm just
Oh
like, bro. At the end of the day, I just
man,
show them the ring. I post a
vibe.
picture of it every time.
Yeah,
You
You
feel
won
me?
the chip. You won the chip.
Exactly. I
Yeah,
want
you
it.
won the chip.
I loved every minute of it, bro. From the beginning
Hell
to the end,
yeah.
everybody died. The Lakers in the beginning. I said, bro, they gonna win it all. Watch.
Yeah,
They lost their first game. Everybody, oh yeah,
Hey,
they done.
let me say this. Let me say this right quick. Like
Mickey
I was
Mouse
telling
ring,
Larry.
nigga.
I was telling Larry. I said, so what about what we're gonna take the lead to go to basketball with this? Like when Kyrie was out and Kevin Love was out, but they're not gonna. They don't talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they still. They don't talk
At the
about
end of the day,
that.
Golden State won the chip though. They went through the
Exactly.
Western Conference like any other great Western Conference team, and they got to the championship and they handled business. It don't matter, even though LeBron was going stupid in that damn final. You know what I'm saying?
4 month layoff. AD would got hurt.
And they
AD
still
would got
talk
hurt.
about he 4-6.
But let's be honest. It did matter. Now
It did.
It
I'm not
did
saying
matter.
it
That
didn't.
shit matter.
we ain't talking about Ted Ginn. We talking about Kyrie.
So
I
Ted
know
Ginn
that.
didn't matter. Ted Ginn didn't matter. So
I was
Ted Ginn didn't
just
matter.
saying something.
Yeah.
I think he did though.
Not. I
He'll leave it
mean,
alone.
he would have mattered for maybe a few extra yards or something. I'm not saying he would have been a non-factor, but Ohio State got drummed up, bro. Like it wasn't like it was a competitive game, bro. It wasn't like
Mr. Hamilton. What I'm saying is, that man ran a kickoff return off the muscle. I'm just saying he did everything.
Okay.
Like Percy Harvin, y'all
Okay.
used him. Ted Ginn was the same way. They used him the same way.
Come on, bro. Ted Ginn was not. Come on, bro.
I'm not saying he Percy Harvin. I'm saying they used him the same way. He was a
It
weapon.
don't matter.
Shit, he had 9 touchdowns that year. What he had? He was like 50-some receptions with 9 touchdowns.
And kickoff return was crazy too. That's why I say they used
He
him.
played a little DB.
Say
Come
that
on now.
again. Say that again. He played in how many games and had how many touchdowns?
Yeah, not.
He had
Okay.
9.
So that means he ain't a game breaker.
He was a touchdown a game. He about a touchdown a game. Yeah.
Come on, bro.
So he wasn't no game. He a game changer.
Yeah, 50-some receptions.
If he scored 1 touchdown a game, how many touchdowns did we beat Ohio State by?
49 to 10, something like
Yeah,
that.
but
I'm just saying.
So basically they were trash. Basically,
if he averaged 1 touchdown a game, that means it would have been 17 instead of 10.
Oh
Hey,
my
1
God!
touchdown a
Okay,
game, shit.
Come on, bro. I mean, y'all not serious now. We talking about Ted Ginn, bro. We not talking
man,
about.
you talking like Ted
I'm about to
Ginn?
look up Ted Ginn college
You talking
shit,
like
bro.
Ted Ginn above or something?
But he
Yeah, like he
ain't
was
no
a ball.
game changer, bro.
Yeah,
He
but
ain't
I don't think Ted
Well,
Ginn
Marvin
is.
Harrison, I think he got 14 touchdowns.
Come on, bro. Y'all talking like Ted
Yeah, but
Ginn was out here.
they different
Ted Ginn
receivers
ain't
though.
Reggie Bush.
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
Okay, hey, look. Okay, so after he went down, who else was a star? Who else was a star on the team?
Oh, I would have to look, bro.
I think didn't they have
exactly.
But that Ohio State, no offense to any Ohio State fans out there, that Ohio State team ain't what it is now, bro. Them niggas was getting waxed by every SEC team they played.
Yeah,
they got waxed the next year.
Yeah, I'm just saying that he pretty much with the offense, bro. He was the guy. He was the playmaker.
We ain't gonna say
Ted
that.
Ginn was the playmaker, dog.
We ain't gonna tell that lie. We ain't gonna tell that lie.
I'm about to look up his college schedule.
So you saying
But this man, He didn't even have a 1,000-yard season, bro. The most yards he had in the season was 803 yards.
Yeah, but y'all going off
four
stats.
TDs.
What I'm saying, they use him for everything. Kickoff
They use
return,
him for
all this
everything.
shit, everything.
He even
Damn near
played
running back
DB.
out there.
That man had 9 TDs and 700 yards. That was his best season. 9 TDs and 700 yards.
Yeah, but what I'm telling you, he not no, you know what I'm saying? He not like Myron Harrison. What I'm saying is he was used as a weapon. He was a playmaker.
y'all
Myron
forgot
Harrison
He was
is
a
a
gadget
real
player.
receiver.
Bruh,
He was a
bruh,
gadget
they had-
player.
Yeah, he was a gadget player. There you go,
They
gadget.
had, bro. They had Pittman. Pittman had 1,200 of them things, man. Pittman, come on,
Oh,
bro.
Michael Pittman.
No,
Yeah.
No,
the
no,
other
no.
Pittman, Antonio Pittman. Jit was out there getting work. Now, come on, man. They had Brian Hartline out there. Come on, now. I forgot.
Brian Hartline. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, so
that's cute.
We can kind of
Bro,
But,
Brian Hartline in the slot was nothing to be. That was really they.
yeah, he was tough.
Come on now, don't do that.
Hold on. So Miss Hammer, you gonna tell me that Hartline better than Ted Ginn? Ted Ginn was the best player on that offense. You know it, bro. He was, bro.
What I'm gonna tell you is what I would tell everybody else. Ted Ginn was a product of his environment. He was the best sorry nigga on the team. That's what.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
That's what I'm gonna tell you. I don't mean to say it like that.
Okay. Kyle Travis the best proud of him. He the best sorry nigga on the
Chill out, Zay.
Well, Cal Pitt was the best player. Cal Pitt was the best player, but Cal Trash benefit from Cal Pitt. Though I'm telling you. Well, he did, bro.
Now that's a game change.
Lord. Go ahead and
say, hey, check this out. This is something me and my chair were arguing about, going back and forth with. He said Brock Bowers better than Kyle Pitt.
Come on, bro. Don't have those kind of
Hold on, Mr. Hamilton. Hold on, Mr. Hamilton. Hold on. Check the stats. Just check the stats.
Bro,
that's all you gotta do.
Hold on, bro. Let's have a real conversation.
Okay.
Georgia fans.
Hold on. Kyle Trask it was his quarterback, right? Kyle Trask. We had a bum O-line, right? We barely used the run game, let alone we had some good running backs, but Dan Mullen wasn't really using them. So it was everybody knew Kyle Pitts was getting the money. Brock is decent, but Brock just
said without Brock,
Brock eating because everybody else eating.
Come on,
man, boy, y'all be talking
I disagree with that. I disagree with that.
Nah, that man Brock Bowers was hard.
He legit. Yeah,
Hey,
I disagree.
Also, Mr. Hamilton, since been that quarterback there, like, hey, now come on now.
But Zay, that's what they say.
That's what they say.
They say stats
listen to me.
Okay?
Listen to me.
But then when Brock put up the numbers,
that's like saying Klay Thompson is a top 10 shooting guard of all time. He
might be.
He might be. He might be. I was thinking, he might be.
He might be.
First off, don't disrespect real deal shooting guards. Don't do that. Kobe on that.
I mean, is Ray Allen a real deal shooting guard?
Kobe on that list. D Wade on that list, man.
Is Ray Allen on that list?
Top 10, man.
Ray Allen is definitely on that list.
If Ray Allen on that list, then by all means, Klay Thompson on that list, bro.
Nah.
Whoa, hold on, RJ, hold on.
I'm being real.
Bro, you must have not been alive when Ray Allen was carrying the Bucks, man. Come on now.
That's why I said it. I think that Klay Thompson better than Ray Allen. That's my opinion.
That's because the way the NBA is played today is way different than when Ray Allen played. Let's not have the conversation. But Klay Thompson eats because the offense is spread. It's wide open. Think about Jordan Poole. Think about what's the other kid's name? Think about how long Andre Iguodala been playing over there, man.
But that's the age we're in now, Mr. Hamilton.
Okay,
but hold them back,
you can't penalize the man because everybody in the league.
That's not the age we're in. That is not the age we're in. What other team is shooting like Golden State? Nobody.
Denver shoot threes.
Bro, well, you wilding now. Come on, sir. You high?
No, absolutely not.
Denver
Look at the stats.
Jokic has top 7 usage rate. They not shooting like Golden State.
They shoot
They
threes.
throwing that bitch in the Jokic.
Okay, and when he get double, what does he do?
The same thing any other sender would do, either
Which is
force it or pass it, but they not shooting. At the end of the day, the Golden State offense is pick and pop. Every other offense is spread open. Think about who's the best player in the NBA right now? Luka Doncic. Is it because he's shooting hella threes?
No, it's because the players around him shoot hella threes.
What? Name them.
The players around him shoot hella threes.
Name them.
Everybody around him
okay,
shoot threes,
name me
sir.
two of them.
That's Reggie Bullock and Donnie Finney-Smith.
Well, you said Reggie Bullock. Well,
no, I'm saying they shoot it. I'm not saying they making them. I'm saying they shoot them. That's why the space is so wide open.
Okay,
because he got shooters all the way around him.
I'm not gonna have a debate with you. You got it, bro. You right. At the end of the day, Brock Bowers is okay. He better than Kyle Pitts. It's all good, man.
Hey, man,
all you got to do is check the stats. Just look at the numbers. Look at the numbers.
That's tough, man. That's tough.
It ain't
one of them Tony Gonzalez, the other one Sterling Sharp, man. Like, I mean, that's the Shannon Sharp, man. I don't know. That's tough.
Look at the numbers.
It ain't tough.
Look at the numbers.
And you know why? You know why I take Brock? Because he did it freshman year. He's still doing it, bro.
Look at the numbers, man. That's all I'm gonna say, bro.
Can Kyle Pitts block?
What's your take on it?
No. Nigga, no.
I mean, if I had to pick a blocking tight end that can run and catch, that's cute. But let's see what will Brock Bowers do at the NFL level?
We talking about college football.
Oh, here we
talking
go.
about NFL,
bro.
We talking about college football.
Kyle Pitts,
in college,
any level.
In college,
yes,
in college.
So then he's not really better than Kyle Pitts. He's a product of his environment. If we just talking about college, that means because if he better than Kyle Pitts, he better than him on any platform.
Mr. Hamilton.
Oh,
Brock can go to any team and do what he's doing now.
Okay,
Kyle Pitts could go. You could put Kyle Pitts on any team and do what he's doing now.
Okay,
but me personally, I think
hold on.
To the numbers,
I got $500 right now that says Brock Bowers does not go to the NFL and do the same thing he's doing in college.
It depends on where he goes.
Oh, now if he better than Kyle Pitts, does it really?
Yes. Kyle Pitts doing what he did at Florida?
Kyle Pitts is a game-changing tight end.
Is he doing what he did at Florida? That is my question.
Is he doing it?
Yes.
I think he injured. I don't think he played. When he was playing,
he's been.
He was a Pro Bowler last.
When he was playing, he was doing it. You wild. When he was playing,
yeah, I'm in Turner.
Look at the quarterback.
Man, I don't have no dog in this fight, bro. But I'm gonna be real. They both right here. You feel me? Like it's like this, bro. Cause like I like Brock Bowers. And I know what the animal, the unicorn that Kyle Pitts is. Like
I don't think Brock Bowers run better routes than Kyle Pitts.
Man, y'all.
But I think that Brock Bowers played the tight end position better than Kyle Pitts, but Kyle Pitts is more of a mismatch. You feel me?
So numbers don't matter. That's what y'all telling me.
Matter. But if I'm if me and you join the Golden State War, let's have a Robert Horry conversation. Is Robert Horry a great player?
Man, you can't compare no Robert Horry to no Brock Bowers.
I'm not comparing the players. I'm comparing the circumstances. If you go into a sweet circumstance, if me and you go,
so you saying Brock Bowers is all clutch?
No, I'm. Whoa. First off, a tight end can't be clutch. First off, he ain't winning no goddamn games. He got to have somebody getting him the rock. The person that's clutch is the person that's controlling the game, not the person that's receiving the control. But what I'm saying is Brock Bowers benefits. I'm not saying he's a trash tight end, but you're not about to sit here and tell me you don't benefit from your environment. You telling me if Kyle Pitts was on Georgia, Brock Bowers would still be. And let's say we switch. We send Brock Bowers to Florida with the team and with Kadarius Toney, and we send Kyle Pitts to Georgia, the team that Brock Bowers has been.
Hey, Mr. Hamilton, can I? Hey, we have Big O on the same team as Brock Bowers. You know what I'm saying? Well, Big
I don't
O
follow Georgia like that. I don't know who Big O is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Darnell Washington.
We had Eric Gilbert on that too.
Yeah, but we know.
No, I'm
Eric
just saying that was
Yeah,
playing
we
with
know
him.
Eric Gilbert ain't really interested. Eric Gilbert like Ricky Williams, man. Eric Gilbert don't know what the fuck he wants to do.
I
Brock Bowers
think
still put up numbers.
So
I think Brock Bowers play that tight end
do.
position better than Kyle Pitts. That's just my opinion. But I think that Kyle Pitts is more of the athlete, the
hybrid.
yeah, he's more the athlete.
So, Mr. Hamilton, may I ask, why don't you say that Brock is better than Kyle?
What I'm saying is, I've seen Kyle match up and be up. I'm talking about an immediate threat. It don't matter if the linebacker, safety, corner. We talking about catching in between two defenders, and we talking about that get up. That get up is what's gonna get you. When they come off the line and you able to push and produce, that's different. Maybe he's not the best blocker. Obviously, he ain't the best blocker. But when we talking about a player that you can say, okay, he gonna go up and get to it, no matter the circumstance. Because let's say Atlanta right now, who he got on that team?
So you didn't watch the national championship game?
Oh my God, you missing again. Let me reiterate this. Not saying Brock Bowers is not a beast, a good player, a great player. What I'm telling you is situation, environment matters. We talking about a guy who shined with a quarterback who never started he was behind, third string, second string.
Okay.
We talking about a dude with a mediocre offensive line.
So you don't,
huh? With no run game.
So Mr. Hamilton.
Yeah.
You stay. Here's what you just said to me. You said in order to be, you said Kyle Pitts can win the one-on-one ball basically, and he can run away from people basically. That's what you said to me.
I said Kyle Pitts is winning in any situation, not just
right. Yeah. That's okay. So, Brock Bowers win on any situation.
Okay.
You didn't see the flaw.
You're not listening to me, man. Again, if you tell me, name me let's just say this: has there ever been a game where everybody in the country knew Brock Bowers was the number one receiver?
Yes, that's every game.
Georgia plays. Every time
every
Georgia
game, man.
Because even when we were about to play him, I said, bro, we need to just double team Brock Bowers and make somebody else be the.
How many times has Brock been double covered?
Every game.
Okay. And
I said we need to double him. I don't want him to beat us.
And he's beating the double coverage.
Yes, and catching it too.
And catching it.
Go and watch film. Go and watch film, Mr. Hamilton.
In the midst of because I've seen the Brock Bauer highlight reel. I think 2 on that 8-minute film or that 8-minute video. I seen 2 catches that were contested. I see him do a lot of running up the middle, wide open. Maybe I'm misseeing it, and we can all watch the tape together since I'm out of my mind. But it's an 8-minute Georgia highlight reel on just Brock Bowers, and I've seen 2 clips in that entire video where he took a ball from a corner.
He just did that in that championship game for a touchdown.
Again, what I'm trying to tell you is it sounds good. We talking about realistically a team full of 5 stars across the board. We're talking about a team that when Brock Bowers goes down, who eats?
The next man up.
Ever been injured?
The next man up.
Okay,
the next man up.
Ever been injured?
Yes, he has been.
Okay, has the passing yards took a hit? Has the team lost?
No.
Because when Kyle Pitts goes, the offense completely changes.
That's because of y'all.
Oh no,
that's not because
exactly.
So the game. So you telling me that the reason why when Kyle Pitts goes down, the offense alters is because of the quarterback or the team?
Because of the quarterback.
Okay, and the reason why Georgia doesn't falter is because of the team.
Because of the quarterback.
So you just gave me exactly what I've been telling you this whole time. It's environment, man.
What?
You just said the reason why Florida's offense changes when Kyle Pitts goes down is because of Florida. The reason why Georgia's offense doesn't change is because of Georgia.
No, that's not what you. That's not what you asked. That's not what you asked.
Lord. Oh Lord!
This is what you asked, Mr. Hamilton. You said if Kyle Pitt goes down, does Florida offense change?
No, I said why does Florida's offense change?
Oh, I don't. I get because your
team
sucks.
Said that's because of us.
Yes, because of the players around him. Yes.
Okay, so Georgia doesn't falter because of the players around him.
Yes, that's true. But that ain't got nothing to do with Brock Bowers. It's everything else.
That doesn't make
mind you, Mr. Hamilton, Brock is the number one option on all those 5 stars that you're talking about. Brock is our number one option.
Okay, so Brock leads the team in receiving right now.
Sorry,
Brock leads the team in receiving.
Okay, let me. Because I don't follow Jordan. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I follow him, but
yeah, Brock leads the team in receiving.
Okay. Brock Bowers has 942 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Next man up has 762 yards. Next man after that has 505 yards. Next man after that has 454 yards. Next man after that has 337 yards. Next man after that, 320 yards. Next man after that, 227. Next man after that, 198, 180, 134. All right.
What's your point?
Has 7 touchdowns. The next man has 7 touchdowns. The next man has 6 touchdowns. The next man has 2 touchdowns. The next man has 2 touchdowns. So there seems to be a lot of consistency. Averages. Brock Bowers averages 14.6 yards a game. Ladd McConkey, what's a fucked up name, averages 13.8 yards a game. Darnell Washington averages 16.2 yards a game. Kearis Jackson averages 14.3 yards a game. Arian Smith averages 28.3 yards receiving a game. Dominic Blaylock averages 14.2. So again, I respect that Brock Bowers.
Hey man, hold on. That's Brock, man. Now Cal Trask is a dumbass name. That's a dumbass name.
I mean, it's
go
ahead.
Go ahead, Mr. Hamilton.
I mean, it's a dumb. It might be a dumb name, but it ain't Ladd McConkey. Come on now.
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead. What you were saying?
Ladd McConkey.
His name Ladd McConkey.
Go ahead, Mr. Hamilton.
But what I'm saying is, there's not much drop off from Brock to the next man. I'm talking about across the board. We talking about TDs. We talking about yards. We talking about average and receiving. We talking about total yards. As a matter of fact, Kenny McIntosh has the most receiving yards on the team, not Brock Bowers.
So your 2020 year, isn't that about the same?
My 20. You're talking about Kyle Pitts?
Yes, your 2020 season when y'all balled out.
Give me a second. I'm about
because Tony led the team in receiving yards. He was maybe about 20 yards short of 1,000-yard season. So
what year? That was
2020. Correct.
2020.
Correct.
What you was about to say, Cav?
My bad. I didn't interrupt you, bro.
I just want to go back to before, whenever y'all was arguing, we tried to tell you that Brock Bowers was a number 1 receiver, and you was arguing for A.D. Mitchell. We fast forward to just a minute ago, and you finally admitted that Brock was the number 1 receiver for Georgia.
No. I said my number 1 on the outside. I wasn't talking about my tight end.
Okay.
Yeah. I said my number 1 on the outside.
Kadarius Toney was 984. Kyle Pitts was 770. But Kyle Pitts was the touchdown leader. Kadarius Toney was second. Trayvon Grimes was third. After those 3 players, we talking about 0s and 1s. Y'all had 5 players with at least 4 or 5 touchdowns.
And you know what? That's
at least 5 players that average, I think, at least 14 yards a game.
And here's why. And I told this to Larry earlier this week.
Mm-hmm.
Todd Monken is the reason why our offense is so fluid and so spread open. I mean, and so balanced when it comes to.
Listen, I don't give a damn how good a coach is.
But
the talent is what changes the game.
You can't listen, Mister. You can't say that because my offense has sputtered before Todd Monken came. after Todd Monken came, that's when everything for Georgia fucking changed when Todd Monken came. So
Okay.
we've always had talent, but
the
offensively,
argument is that Brock Bowers is as good as Kyle Pitts, and all I'm saying is we have to, just like what I was saying with the injury, you have to factor in that it matters. It matters that Brock Bowers can go on the sidelines and take a breather, and Laddie McConkey can go out and ball out. You know what I'm saying?
He don't though. He don't ever get off the field.
Okay, I respect that, but I'm just saying, hypothetically, that
you can't go hypothetical.
I can.
Okay, all right, Mr. Hamilton. Okay.
I mean, we just went hypothetical with
the whole conversation is a hypothetical.
Exactly.
Like, what are we doing at this point? What are we doing? What are we doing?
I don't even know. Because my argument is Brock is better than Kyle Pitts.
Okay,
and you guys say he isn't. So okay,
no.
Your opinion. No. That's my opinion. I'm done with it.
Eligible? Right.
I'm done with it. No, he's not. He's not. He come back another year.
Oh,
he got to come back another year.
Okay. So when he get drafted, then we can come back to the table.
I'm
you can give me my 500.
I'm done with it, bro. I'm done with it because we're talking college. We're not talking. I'm not.
Speaking of drafted. Speaking of drafted. Hey, Mr. Hamilton, you think he can get drafted right now if he leaves?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I believe
so.
And then as a sophomore.
If I'm
trying to tell you, man.
If he everything they say he is, absolutely. The NFL, I don't understand why
what they say
back.
He's like that for real.
Okay, so I don't understand why he would come back.
He has to.
I thought you said he was draft eligible.
No, he said if he was draft eligible.
Okay.
Right now, can he go? Like right now, can he go?
Go ahead, Cal.
As a sophomore.
If he's like what they say he like, then yeah, he could damn sure go.
Go ahead, Cal.
Oh, what? No, I mean, I think Brock is again, like, it depends on what you're asking him to do. I think Brock is exceptional. You can make argument that Brock may be the best player in college football. Like, I think he's that good because, like, there's not very many tight ends that you can run a jet sweep and he goes 60, 70 yards for a touchdown. And as much as I love Kyle Pitts, I don't think Kyle Pitts could take a jet sweep 60, 70 yards for a touchdown. Now, on the flip side, in that 2020 season, we watched Kyle Pitts line up against the Stingleys. We watched him go up against the Delpits. We watched him line up against the guy that Kentucky had that was the number one cornerback that the Cowboys drafted. We watched him go up top on Tyson Campbell. Now, here's the caveat. I don't watch Georgia every week. I don't know if Brock is beating first round cornerbacks week in and week out. If he is, great. That's fantastic. I think as a true inline tight end, yes, Brock does things that are better than what Kyle does. On the outside, I don't think there's a better tight end / wide receiver than what Kyle Pitts was. I think Florida fans we're gonna say Kyle was better. Georgia fans gonna say Brock is better, and that's fine. Like, that's fine.
But Cav, let me ask you one thing though.
Yeah.
Because I like I said, I'm not out here watching Georgia. I can give two, fuck them dogs. But but when you make your point, are you speaking just college wise?
I mean, it's a college football conversation. You can't have an NFL conversation because Brock is not in the NFL.
No. That whoa. I'm not having an NFL. I'm having a position conversation.
Hey, I like
last time I checked, they got tight ends in the NFL.
I know. Okay, so keep asking your question.
So, but I want to know if I'm talking about the best, because maybe that's where the confusion lies. I'm talking about the position. I'm not talking about the stadium. I'm not talking about whether it's college or NFL. I'm talking if you are better than Kyle Pitts, then that means it should definitely translate to the NFL because Kyle Pitts doing the same shit in the NFL. So when you're speaking about just college. You believe that he's a better college tight end than
we've not seen Brock in an NFL game, so no, I can't sit here and say what Brock would how his game is translating to the league. But I will say that again, like for a long time, that was the nitpick on Kyle Pitts, was that he could not block, right? Coming into that red shirt sophomore season or whatever it was, the 2020 season.
Blocking is an integral part of being a tight end, though.
Agreed, 100%. And I mean, he improved for Kyle Pitts, but don't get it twisted. Kyle Pitts' game was never hand in the dirt, Tony Gonzalez, Antonio Gates, correct. Tight end. No, that was not his game, and that's why I said I think that Brock is a better inline tight end, because I think that Brock
he's a more fundamental tight end.
Correct.
Okay. I think, like I said, one of them is Jason Witten, the other one is Shannon Sharp. Like it literally
depends on what you want them to do. Correct.
Yeah, it depends on what type of tight end you want. You know what I'm saying? I think they both gonna thrive in the NFL regardless, because I feel like both any team could use either tight end.
Personally, I don't give a fuck about Florida either. However, I would have liked to have seen Kyle Pitts on the outside versus being labeled a tight end, because I think he's a fucking game changer, and I hated the fact that he destroyed us, because you can put him in the slot. And he thrived in the slot big time. So
you can move him anywhere.
Right.
Because we played him in all three.
I like Kyle Pitts, because I like him, because he's 6'7", and his catch radius is off the chain. Like I like him. But just like Cav said, when you handing the ball off to a tight end and it can go 70 yards, it's different. On any given play. Yeah,
I still believe that environment matters.
I
still believe that having the best offensive linemen, the best receivers, I don't know where Stetson was ranked as a quarterback, but when your O-line is on point, when your receiving is on point, you're running, that makes your job easier.
Hey, I wouldn't want Bowers at Alabama, bro. Like, man, shit, he probably win 3 straight for real with Bryce. Like,
yeah, I think that matters. I mean, I can only imagine what Kyle Pitts would have done in a Georgia Alabama type environment.
But let me say this though, like going and granted, AD didn't play, but going into Jacksonville this year, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, if you would have told me, do you want Brock to beat you or do you want Lad McConkey and the other shit to beat you? 1,000 times out of 1,000, I'm taking McConkey and the other shit, because those guys don't scare me. But Brock Bowers, he scares me because he can change the game. So again, like, I understand what you're saying about the talent, because yes, Georgia has talent. Georgia got talent to share. But there's talent, and then I think there's something different. In Brock Bowers, and I think that he represents. Because I think I'm gonna say this: I think that McConkey, Jackson, I think the other shit is getting open because of Brock Bowers.
Absolutely right. Yes. Absolutely right.
I don't think the other guys are drawing coverage, and that's how Brock is getting off. No. The other guys are getting off because of Brock.
Yes, sir.
Stetson is getting off because of Brock.
Yes, sir.
I don't know, man. I think we watching, and again, I'm not a Georgia fan. I'm a UF fan through and through, but I think we watching it from a much different perspective, because 19 controls the game. Without 19, them guys ain't going back to back.
No.
I agree with that.
I agree with you.
Going back to back.
1,000%. 1,000%. I agree with you.
And that's great. And that's all good and dandy. I'm never gonna argue that. If he balling for them, he balling for them.
But
at the end of the day, if Brock Bowers is playing at the University of Florida with Kyle Trask and Dan Smullen, then is he the same person? Is he the same?
Yes, because he's an exceptional talent. Yes.
But Cal, I don't think it would be. I'm not gonna say we wouldn't go, because, and here's why I say that. We have a 5-star freshman and depth who's damn near just as good as Brock, but he couldn't play.
Have you seen him do it at the collegiate level?
I have not. No,
So
sir.
these are going to the hypotheticals you said we couldn't use a minute ago.
Well, I take that back because he has gotten in on some critical plays because I watch Georgia every Saturday. He has gotten in and he has produced. So what I see in him, I like. And
Hey, Mr.
I
Hamilton.
see a lot. I see a lot and I see a lot of Brock in him.
Hey, I agree with Scott because our next man up. I have confidence in my next man up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what I have confidence.
But then he ain't no Brock Bowers though, bro.
You
Like,
don't learn.
But we
I'm
don't know
telling you
that.
what,
We've
we
not
don't-
seen him.
I'm not saying it, but I just
Yeah,
really
yeah.
have confidence
Listen.
in like next man up. Oh yeah, we got
Y'all haven't seen him, but
Yeah,
I've
y'all
seen
haven't
him.
seen it. I've seen him.
I've seen
Yeah.
it. So like going back to what Sir Roger said, like he's gonna be that deal. Like I think he's gonna be that deal because I've seen him.
yeah, he could be productive, but he like Brock is special. You know what I'm saying?
Larry,
I agree.
I hear you, but you ain't seen this kid.
You ain't seen this kid.
Okay,
You
but
ain't seen this kid.
quick question: if Brock Bowers' talent doesn't translate to the NFL, is he still better than Kyle Pitts?
At the college level, in my opinion, yes.
At the tight end position, is he better than
Yes.
Kyle Pitts if it doesn't translate to the NFL?
Yes, at the tight end position, yes.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys.
Mr.
Like,
Hamilton, what they got to do with it? I know some players that are better than Tebow, and they say Tebow is the greatest quarterback at college level. You know?
No,
what
I'm talking. I wouldn't.
But
I'm not.
what they got to do with it going to the next level?
I'm talking because I'm arguing about
Tebow
the
did.
position. Like T.O. is the best wide receiver to me. He's not the best wide receiver in Philadelphia. He's not. He's the best all around wide receiver to me. Randy Moss.
No, I said Tebow. Tim.
Okay. I'm not arguing the college or NFL. I'm arguing the position. I'm never going to say Tebow was the best college quarterback. I mean, best quarterback of all time.
That what Larry say.
Oh, wow.
He's the best winner of all time. Yeah, he's the best winner.
So are we all in agreement that Joe Burrow the best quarterback of all time?
Nah, hell, what?
Burrow.
No.
Wow, that's disrespectful.
Oh no.
I mean, let's be honest. If we're looking at the ring, it's Tom Brady. But if we looking at just straight ability to break down the film and get busy, I'm gonna have to give it to that Tennessee boy, man.
But hold on.
No, I'm talking about in college.
Oh, you talking about college?
Okay.
Oh,
yeah, I'm talking about college.
Yeah, I'm going with Tebow in college.
Yeah, I'm going with Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow did his thing, but Tebow was out here wrecking niggas night. Tebow was a nightmare, man. Tebow was getting it done on so many levels, and he had an ugly ass arm. So that pass was ugly, but it was making music, boy. Joe Burrow had a smooth release. Tebow had you looking like he orthopedic with that throw, but he got the job done.
Man,
like a baseball.
He wrecked me three straight years in a row, bro.
Yeah, and we got to give credit where credit's due. Joe Burrow was kind of suspect for a few years there too. Now,
you talking about that first year?
Yeah,
he absolutely was.
Yeah, Tebow
absolutely
came
was.
out the gate with the shits. You know,
Tebow is not the greatest though. I know a couple that are better than him, but I'm.
What about Cam Newton?
Hey, y'all about to say him? Tommy
Cam Newton, man.
Joe Burrow had a lot of talent around.
Joe Burrow.
Cam Newton was a beast, but y'all got to factor in Tim Tebow did it consistently it wasn't like we talking about
it too.
some years.
What about Johnny Manziel, man?
Why y'all never talking about Chris Lee? Why y'all boys talking about
Johnny Manziel, man. Johnny football, man.
Johnny Manziel out here smoking that dope, man.
Hey, but you can't lie. That boy highlight reel one of the hardest, bro, for the white boy though, bro.
Yeah, Manziel did his thing. Old skinny ass, country ass white.
Hey, he was fun to watch though, bro. I can't lie.
Yeah.
I think you have to break this conversation. I think you have to break it up in terms of like best single season and best career, because I think it's two different things. Like,
yeah, I think Joe Burrow probably had the best. Obviously, that boy put up number. Like,
but Cam's single season. Like, if you like, I always go back to like there was one other pro on that Auburn team with Cam, and that was Nick Fairley.
True.
One other pro.
True. True.
one other pro,
True.
and we know what Cam did.
I'm
so
with
I
you.
think that like it's a single season. Like, what is the best single season for a quarterback? And that's, I think, is a Cam, Joe Burrow conversation. Now, if you're talking career and winner, like, it's hard to go
anywhere.
Against Tebow.
Yeah. Because I mean, he did it.
agree with that.
He was 4 years,
Yeah.
2 national championships,
But
Heisman.
you spit some bars. Cam ain't have no. When I think, Cam was out there making
That's
magic.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That Auburn team was bullshit, and Gene
Yeah.
Chizik was not a good coach, and he won despite.
Cam was the truth, bro.
Yeah, man, that's different. That's a different.
And that's when the West was tough then too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he went through the whole man. You know how many comebacks he had that season, bro? Like I was like, oh yeah, they down. They still Cam Newton still gonna bring him back.
Yeah.
Cam was on another planet right then, boy.
Let's kind of move forward, man. I want to right now we can have like a.
He want to talk about Florida.
Yeah.
Let's go and talk about it, man.
I want to hear about the recruit.
I want to hear about that dude, bro.
I want to hear about y'all recruiting class. You know, I see y'all got some down line. I mean, y'all got like 4 of them in the top 50.
Well, let me just start by saying this, man. For everybody, I don't know who all Florida Gator fans in here, but let me just start by saying this. Even when I played, man, you hear me? We understood that after a while you get recruited by teams and you start to understand that the athletic department really ain't checking for you like that. And I think Florida's our big, and again, me and Joe still talk. Obviously CB was at my wedding, so I still have some relationships, and Florida has always had a relationship building problem.
What you mean by ain't checking for you like that, bro? I'm just confused, right?
Okay. Let me just.
Well, can I set it up, Mr. Hamilton?
Okay, go ahead, bro. My bad.
So right now we're gonna get into the issues right now. Florida don't survive for its recruiting, NIL. In the situation with Jaden Rashada, just that whole fiasco, whole situation right now. I brought Mr. Hamilton on because he's and Cav, I want your expertise. Both of these guys are very, very, they know a lot of people and they in the know. You know what I'm saying?
So
Close to the program.
What happened? Like, just give me some backstory.
Cav, you want to set that up? You can talk about that.
So here's what I'm gonna say. It's not gonna be good for podcasting. I'm gonna start by saying that because no. But what I'm saying is that like there are things that I know, and then there are things that still are uncertain. So there's a level of speculation that's out there. The things that I do know. So again, this is what I'm telling you. Like, it's not gonna be good for podcasting because like I don't think you put family business in the streets. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
And so there are things that you know and things that you don't know. Here's my overarching issue with where we are right now. I said before on this podcast that the thing that I admired about Georgia, Alabama, at the time I would have put Ohio State in there, but I'm gonna put LSU in this conversation. I'm gonna put LSU in this. Those universities from the top down are aligned to one singular goal. And when I say from the top down, it's president, it's AD, it's coach, it's boosters, all the way down to just the lady that shuffles paperwork in some division. They are all aligned to one singular focus. At the University of Florida, I was under the impression when we made the hire last year that we were aligned, and we finally realized you're going to have to put resources into this thing or you're not going to be able to compete in today's college football. So when I say that we're not aligned, you've got UFAA, which is the Alumni Association. You've got the UAA, which is the athletic department. You've got Gator Boosters, which is an entirely different entity. And then now we have the collectives and all of these other groups that are there for NIL purposes. All of these different groups, in my opinion, have different goals And if we ultimately end up getting to a championship while we achieve our individual goals, then that's great. But at the same time, I got to hit what my goal is. And again, going back to the examples I gave of Georgia, Alabama, LSU, you don't have that dysfunction amongst the groups. Everybody is aligned to winning championships. And until at the University of Florida, we get that level of alignment, then we're going to continue to not be able to figure things out until all those entities that I lined out and said, until they come together and say, okay, I have to put my own individual goals aside for us to get back to winning championship football. We're always going to be in the situation that we are. And to me, like when you look at everything that's happened with the Rashada shit, this just shows that like we're not aligned.
What happened?
We weren't aligned. Don't matter what happened. Here's what didn't happen. The prize recruit, a fringe 5-star quarterback, is not enrolled at the University of Florida right now, and NIL is the reason for that. That's what happened. The details, again, the details belong with the people that needs to know the details. At the end of the day, there was a fringe 5-star quarterback that we flipped. NIL was involved, and he's not enrolled at the University of Florida. And now we have an even bigger gap at the most important position than what we had when we started this 2023 cycle.
Who are they flipping from?
They flipped him from Miami. We lost. It was down to us in Miami. Miami offered a bigger NIL deal, and then he went to Miami, and then he realized, all right, I don't really want to, I want to play SEC football. I want to go to where I wanted to go to. Then he came to us. And again, going back to not being aligned, boosters, UFAA, UAA, everybody involved is not aligned because, again, you're not hearing these issues at other places. You're hearing these issues here. Now, granted, I think that, like Ohio State clearly has an NIL issue. People are talking about it. But no one has had the type of issue that we have had already. And to be honest with you, I'm going to throw Carmani into this situation.
Who is that?
And granted, now his recruitment is way out there. But again, in my opinion, Carmani is a 5-star, but this is 2 high-end players that should be on campus. And for whatever reason, outside of Coach Napier, and I want to clear, Coach Napier is not the issue. Coach Napier's staff is not the issue. There is business and there is alignment issues that we have at Florida. And in my opinion, it's cost us 2 players that can get us back to where we need to be. And until we get that, we're going to continue to struggle to put the kind of product that we expect on the field on Saturday afternoons.
Who is Carmani?
The number one cornerback
in the 2023 class.
Correct.
Gotcha.
So that's my take. Again, until we get alignment within the powers that be under the UF umbrella, like it's going to continue to be a struggle because, again, I want to emphasize, like, Coach Napier and his staff didn't do nothing wrong here. This isn't on them. This is not on them. They did what they were supposed to do. They got the commitment. They got the national letter of intent signed. Why is the kid not on campus? NIL. Right? That's outside the coach's purview. So until those other groups that I named get their shit together, we're going to have problems.
Go ahead, Mr. Hamilton.
Just to piggyback on what Cav said, I mean, he's absolutely right. The only thing that I would add to that portion of the conversation is there's a poison pill in there. The reality is that this imbalance has been going on for years.
Yes.
I mean, we talking about even when we won championships, It wasn't aligned. And I think that's the poison pill because it was done, and it was done in a very exciting way. It was basketball. It was us on basketball, them on football. It's back to back. And it gave nobody pause to say, we need to get our shit together because, I mean, we won championships. And I think that those championships was probably the worst thing that could happen to the University of Florida because it did not force anybody to humble themselves. There's a lot of people who should not have opinions in the athletic department that do. There was some hires that have happened in the recent years of individuals who left Florida, and went elsewhere and came back, that have always been a thorn in the side of productivity. They are now also back on it. So it's a lot. But at the end of the day, it's a trickle down effect, because not only is there imbalance at the top, there's not anybody really in the athletic department that's good at building relationships. And those things matter. When you hear ex-players talking down on Florida, those things matter. Those things happen because there's not the people that we as a university don't do the greatest job of honing relationships. And a lot of these ex-players are AAU coaches. They are high school assistants, high school coaches. They run training camps. They do this. So they're in these kids' faces. So we set ourselves back at the helm by not having our shit in order in-house. But outside the house, all the neighbors are saying, I don't know if you want to go holler at them. They ain't really what they ain't really what you think they are. And I think that the Rashada situation, there is a lot of, there's a lot of sewage that's blocking the drain right now.
So is it true that he was really 13 million, bro?
The numbers are. I'm not gonna get into the actual numbers, but it's not 13 million.
Yeah,
everybody throwing that junk out like it was true.
But here's the thing, though, RJ. The problem with that number is that. So first of all, like, I don't think that a lot of these kids are getting the NIL numbers that are being thrown around, because I think that the first time in his recruitment, when he picked Miami, the numbers that were being thrown around that I think that Miami offered, like, here's the thing, like granted, it's $13 million over, hypothetically, it's $13 million over 4 years, right? Assuming that he would stay all 4 years. So when you do the math, that's what, like 3.5, about 3.5 a season. Like, at this point, like, we're talking about like NFL backup, like that's more money than like the 53rd man on the NFL roster is making.
Yeah.
I mean, the young man Hamlin that got hurt for Buffalo, a couple weeks ago, I think he's making about $800,000 as a 53rd man kind of guy on the NFL roster. So I don't know. The $13 million, I don't buy that. And then again, going back to one of my first statements, like where there are kind of things that you might know, and then things that are, like, I think the number for me at least is still out there, but I can tell you, like, from what I trust, I don't think the 13 is real. I could be way wrong in that. I've not seen the contract. But I don't think, no, I'm not buying 13 million. But the thing about it is, like, 13 million is out there. So from a media perspective, from a fan perspective, it's a $13 million number that wasn't paid, that Florida didn't pay, basically, now because of the number being out there.
Yeah. But again, that's a major factor. But if you just think about us as across the board, we have a very serious issue in our media department. And that goes back to relationships. That goes back to standards. That goes back to relationships. It's just a lot of mess. And I think a lot of Florida fans don't really understand, because, you root for your team and you want to see them do, but it takes, like, they ask the players to buy in, but it takes a buy-in from the athletic department. It takes a buy-in from the media, the pundits, the pod. All this stuff matters to these kids, because these kids live and die on social media. So if one of your media members, access members, is constantly throwing stories of division and just ugliness, and nothing is being done to reproach that, it's a bad look. I just think, like Cav said, there is a whole lot of confusion, and there's a whole lot of egos involved. I mean, these are people who believe in their way, and ain't nobody really telling them to do nothing different. And another thing is this idea that Florida's an everything school. They really take that a lot more serious than I believe that they should. I think that, you can give credit where it's credit's due, but what's paying the bills? You know what I'm saying? What's pushing the brand forward? And I think that we have settled, we have become content with just being the everything school, the number one public university, and et cetera, et cetera. I think it's going to take a real realization, and maybe this Jade and Rashada thing is perfect. Maybe because this is if it continues to go the way that it's going, there is no way they can walk this down. It's going to make Florida look like garbage. There's no way around it, whether the numbers are real or not. The reality is the kid signed a letter of intent, and it's just a fumble like I don't think it's ever happened in college football like this, and I think that matters. And somebody gonna have to do something, and maybe this Rashada thing makes people say, okay, it's time for us to do better.
Well, so I think to that point, yes, that's true. But let's go back, and again, like I don't think that a lot of people on the like that aren't Florida fans understand this. Like if you go back to like when Coach Spurrier took over, like to this day, Coach Spurrier gives credit to an SEC championship that got taken away from us for, I don't know, some nonsense basically.
Oh, yeah. Charlie Pell.
Yes, it took place. I want to say that like a guy got help making a payment for something, and the NCAA came in and basically took an SEC championship away from us. So basically what you have now is you have the people that were students at UF when that happened, they now are the check writers. Okay. So they lived the NCAA coming down and putting UF on probation, right? Like they lived that as students. And then Coach Spurrier came in, and we know what he did for Gator football. So I think you already have a group of people that are reluctant to quote cheat. You have a group of people who are proud of the championships that Coach Meyer and those Gators brought, but they're not proud about all of the other headlines that came with Coach Meyer's Gators. So when NIL was first rolled out, you've got a group of people who are now the check writers, for lack of a better description. You have a group of people that when they were students, they saw UF go on probation. When they were coming into building their wealth, they watched, like, we won championships, but we were in the headlines for doing things that you aren't always proud that your guys are doing, right? And so now with this NIL thing, they've been told for, what are we talking now? 30 plus years? Don't cheat. And now we're being told, shit, we can freely cheat. Like, we can freely cheat. And so there's a reluctance to do that. Because again, for 30 plus years, they've been told not to do that. So again, for me, it's all about alignment. And if everybody, all those organizations under the UF umbrella, if they're not working towards getting back to championship level football, then we're going to keep doing this thing. And I said it before on a pod, on this pod we were on, whenever I said, like, yes, like UF, we became the everything school, but we did it at the expense of football, because you got to pay a high-end baseball coach. You had to pay Coach Donovan for basketball. You got to pay Mouse for track. You got to pay the softball coach who won national championships. And all of that shit has come at the expense of the moneymaker, which is football. So again, we have to decide like what we want to be. Do we really want to be about it, or do we want to talk about it? And until the powers that be make that decision, we're going to continue to be in this situation where it's like we should be so much. There's a reason why Coach Bear Bryant, talked about Florida. He called Florida a sleeping giant, because even then Bear Bryant knew what the University of Florida could be if it was right. We've seen the University of Florida when it's right. Now, the question is, the decision makers that are there today, they have to decide who we want to be. Do we want to be 8, 9, maybe 10 wins? Or do we want to do the shit that we've seen Alabama do and that we're watching Georgia do? And really, like, They're in control now. They have to make that decision.
Hey,
Yeah.
so I want to talk about it even with hold on. Somebody asleep.
Zay
Zay?
snoring.
Zay snoring.
Zay
Get him out
say,
of
I
there.
don't care nothing about this Gator shit.
No, I'm listening. Hey, Cal, I'm listening, bro. Like you said, I'm trying to. I wanna come in and say what I. You know, I'm trying to listen to what you told me.
Now, so I want to go back, Mr. Hamilton. Can you go into like I'm glad you guys having this conversation and enlightening people too, because like you know, this the reason why. Can you care to share the stranglehold that Urban had to go through at Florida, and that was one of the rumors that the reason why he did leave or he exited.
I mean, Urban, because and it's not to go too much into detail, but my big brother played in the '80s. I played. I mean, it's something that's been going on at Florida for a long time. But Urban was, I think, the first coach, and I saw this firsthand. It's like he wanted everything, and and when I say everything, it wasn't even so much about Florida. It was really about his own legacy. Urban wasn't trying to hear all that. Urban wasn't trying. Urban wanted us to go get the best and keep this train moving. And I hear what Cal says, and maybe to a certain extent that is the case. But I know my big bro got love, and I know I got love. So people ain't that cautious. You know what I'm saying? But I think at the top, it comes down to the egos. And there's one very big person that's involved in all of this. And I'm not going to call him because, that nigga be having spies and shit. But there's a person that has a lot of power in that administration. And that person is set. And he got a few other people that's riding in the same trail with him that's set in doing things a certain way. And it cannot be that way. And there are people in the athletic department that feel like, hey man, let's get it popping. Basically, let's just do what everybody else doing. But then there are certain people that's like, no, we can win this way. It doesn't have to be that way. And it's a struggle. And the problem is the idea that we can win a specific way is controlled by the people with more influence. I won't even say power, I just say influence. And I think it's going to take either a separation or it's going to take something messed up to happen, like this Jaden Rashada situation, for people to say, okay, we did it your way, step back and let us do it this way. Because after a while, even the youngest Florida fan, or even that just now, so that just saw the recent championships, you get to a point where you're like, what are we supporting? And you don't want to get to that place as a university. You don't want to get to the place where people just say, y'all don't care, so why should we? Yeah. And I think that I'm hoping, and Eddie had before this the situation, he had a conversation and we were talking, and he was upset because he felt like he wasn't being embraced fully. His ideas wasn't being embraced, because you got to think, if you're going to have let's just say, and I'm just being random, I'm talking generally, if you're going to have a collective, you want that collective, y'all want to work hand in hand. You want to understand everything that's going on. You want to understand everything you're expected. But the whole time, really, the collective has been like they push the collective at arm's reach. They be like, we want to deal with them, but we really don't. So it's just a lot of confusion, a lot of stuff where nobody's really bought in where it matters. The reality is, to win a championship, it's been proven time and time again. Great coaches, blah blah blah. You need talent, and that is, you can't argue that. You just can't argue that. You can't argue it anymore. At one point, you had coaches slide in. They just had the the miracle. The team bought it. But the reality is, today's game, you got to get the talent. And to get the talent, especially with NIL, you're gonna have to do some things. And if you're not willing to do those things, you can't also forego the relationship building. If you're gonna say, okay, we don't want to do it this way, then you gotta fertilize your relationship garden. You gotta water that month. You gotta build relationships. And I think that the university has an issue in both regards. And again, there are ex-players, there are current players that's in the NFL, that's in the NBA, that had NBA careers that don't feel like they were embraced. So when a kid's parents who knows Joe Kim's mom reaches out to Joe Kim and says, "Hey, what do you think such and such should go? How do you think that?" And Joe Kim may be the type of person that be like, I don't know if y'all know. I don't know if Cav has ever interacted with Joke, but Joke is very much blatant in his, he gonna just say it. So if you reach out to that type of individual, and that type of individual doesn't really feel the love that he was promised, he gonna be like, I mean, it was cool. You know what I'm saying? And that may not be negative to the average person, but that's also not like a reaffirming statement. I could say this firsthand. Joe was not pleased at how his retirement was handled by Florida. But again, I just think that we if we're gonna be the one oddball, like the team in the NBA who says we're gonna win with the center position, you better go get the baddest motherfucker. You better go get the most elite center ever that can shoot the three. You have to fully buy into certain. You can't just say we're gonna win this way. You can hype Billy Napier all up as much as you want. Call him the next Nick Saban. You can.
Whoa! Who the hell said that?
I'm just saying.
Hey, but Mr. Hamilton,
I'm just saying.
Let me tell you something. Jazz just came back from a 27-0 deficit.
Oh yeah,
they made it a 2-point game.
My brother just texted me. Yeah, 28.
That's crazy as hell.
Trevor Lawrence is proven to be Trevor Lawrence, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, he did throw good.
Hey, Cal, tell us stop throwing goddamn picks.
He threw 4 interceptions.
He threw 4. Yeah,
I mean, he's a soldier.
But he
should have just thrown one. He should have just thrown one the very first pass. It hit the defensive end right in the hands. But
he need to. He need receivers, because a lot of receivers. Well, everybody need receivers, but he definitely need receivers to help him out.
Yeah,
Calvin really going over there next year. So.
Hey, Zach, hey, Mr. Hamilton, wrap that what you just saying.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, my bad. Go ahead.
And another thing, let me just make this comment about Billy Napier. And I'm gonna say this because I know everybody loves Billy, and I've spoken to him twice so far. Great guy, good energy. The reality is, you can only do so much as a coach, though. And we're not talking about like a Lincoln Riley type of coach. We're talking about a coach whose his best attributes is his ability to build relationships. He's not the coach that's going to go out there and pick apart a defense with some elite offensive possession, but he can get to a space where his offense is running. But you cannot. This is not Louisiana, bro. I mean, and I don't mean to discredit, the Raging Cajuns. This is not that. You're not going to get away with. You're not going to get away with finding a diamond in the rough. Osiris Torrance was great, but you need 5 of them to play in this. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like you, and you don't need to accidentally run up on them. You need to go out and get those type of players. Because Osiris Torrance is respect. That boy, I don't know what his mama. I don't even understand how he was able to do what he did at that position. That dude is next level. But
he pretty good.
He was a diamond in the rough. This ain't that. And I respect Billy for what he is.
He was transferred one.
Yeah, he came
Yeah,
from
yeah.
Louisiana with
Where
Billy.
he transfer from?
Yeah, he came
Louisiana.
from the same team
Oh,
Billy
he
coached.
came with. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So what I'm saying is, you have a coach who can build great relationships. You have a coach that when y'all came to Florida, and this is the thing that I don't think a lot of these older athletic admins understand. You guys hyped this dude up, and the first thing you told us is we are giving Billy an army. It's if you giving him an army, you better make it look like we winning some of these goddamn wars. Because Florida fans ain't with the. It's only so many times you're gonna play scared money don't make no money clip.
Right.
Before a month, it'd be like, man, and that's the problem because instability in the fan base will cause. And I'm telling you firsthand, it's not the fans are not the reason these coaches get fired, but at the end of the day, it looks. Imagine being a parent. My son is being recruited right now, but he's 13, so it'll be a while. But imagine that I'm a parent. He's getting recruited. In the last 10 to 15 years, I done seen y'all run through 6, 7 coaches. It just does. It doesn't give that, or why it's so easy for Nick Saban to get recruits. He been there their whole life.
Mm-hmm.
And they know he ain't. He not only is he not going nowhere. People don't realize Nick Saban seems like an asshole, but them kids love that dude. When I tell you that their parents, that dude is able to go into these houses and they mamas and them people be falling in love with Nick because he understands relations, but he also wins. And
I heard that shit about Kirby too.
But if you don't give Billy Napier the chance, everything you got to give him everything in the cupboard. I don't give it. Ain't no excuses. There's no more and if because listen, we talking about Tennessee just had an awesome season. We done lost to Kentucky. I mean, we going backwards. We lost to Vanderbilt. These are very clear signs. You don't accidentally lose to Vanderbilt. You know what I'm saying? Like there's some things that's happening that's very telling. And unless the admin wakes up, we in a world of trouble because everybody else seems to be getting better. You gave Billy Napier the army. You got to give him the ammunition to win the war. You can't give him a bunch of people and no guns. Because you're going to lose.
But that's why I say, like, going back to my whole spiel about alignment, like when we opened up the budget for him and the staff and the army, and maybe it was my misunderstanding, that's where I was like, he made the field goal? Okay, my bad. That's where I was like, okay, like we finally going to do what needs to be done. But I think when we opened up the purse, we opened up the purse for coach and staff and army. We ain't open up the purse for personnel.
Yeah. And that's
again, the disconnect. And again, that could have been on me. Like that could be me just misunderstanding.
But no, because they made it their business to push that narrative. As if there was Sports Illustrated reports that say Billy Napier convinced, like they had to convince, like they were pushing that narrative. So you're not wrong. They literally made you believe that a change had happened, like a shift had happened. But in reality, I mean, listen, man, I like the guy. Not gonna lie, that staff has a great energy. But I don't give a damn if you hire 700 staff. These kids. These are kids. Most of these kids, most of your most talented kids come from single parent homes. They living in Section 8. I mean, the reality is either they're gonna love you for your ability to build relationships with them, or they're gonna love you because you blessing them. We can't play this game of we're gonna win a specific type of way if it doesn't fit the narrative of everything else going on around you. It's just, and it's disappointing because there is so many kids that I know firsthand from coaching AAU, from doing things that love the idea. There's just something. There's a lure of Florida. I don't know if people realize this, but especially in cities like states like Georgia and Florida, and deep up in the muck in Florida, Pahokee, Belgrade. It's a lot of kids that be running around Gators and this and Florida that. But I mean, we lose them to Alabama. I can tell you at least 7 top-tier recruits that was all in for Florida, but Florida just ain't. We got to do better, man. We just got to do better, and somebody got to get a wake up call, quick, soon, fast, and in a hurry. I personally don't think the Rashada saga is where everybody else thinks it is. I think that an agreement has already been reached. I think that there may be a story come out Monday that he signed, but I could be wrong from everything I'm hearing. I could be wrong, but if I'm wrong, it's going to be a rainy day in Gainesville. And even if I'm hearing stuff about Walker Howard, that's cool. But that Rashada situation is gonna linger, and it's just not good. It's not good for anybody. And on top of that, according to everything I've heard, the kid wanted to be a Gator. Yeah. So that stings even more.
But that's the disappointing part, right?
Yeah.
Because to me, and again, like, business is business, and I'm never gonna knock somebody for wanting to go get money, but like, there comes a point where, like, do you sit down with your child and just say, like, we understand the business thing, but like, where do you want to go? Because I think in the end, he's gonna end up at an Arizona State where his dad played, or Washington or some shit. And at the end of the day, it's like, listen, like, for whatever reason, we might not be getting what we want right now up front, but what is it that you want to do? Because I agree with you. There's not a doubt in my mind that kid wants to be a Gator, but and on the flip side, if promises have been made, you absolutely have to fulfill those promises. Absolutely. But at some point, there has to be a conversation with the kid about, like, okay, what do you want to do? You like, this is what we thought. This is what it is. This is what it can be. What do you want to do? Do you really want to go to a fucking Arizona State? Do you really want to go to a Washington or wherever in the Pac-12? He can't go to SC. He can't go to, well, he can, but SC is set at quarterback. UCLA is set at quarterback. Like, what are the other options?
I mean, I respect that. That's a great. I mean, I much respect to that mentality. But let me tell you a secret, bro. I know
money is money,
but it's not even money for it is for Kamani's mom. Keisha is next level, but I think a lot of parents are living their lives vicariously through these kids, and at certain points, it's not about the kid. It's about because imagine this. I went to Arizona State. I'm his dad. He slides to Arizona State. He's a top recruit. It makes me look good. And a lot of times, and it's and no disrespect to the parents, sometimes it ain't even the parents. It could be the coaches. It's so many people in these kids. You have so much access to these kids now. Ain't no telling who got the bug and who is. But I respect that conversation, and I tell some of my parents, I tell some of other parents that I'm in chat room whose kids are also being recruited. We have this conversation a lot. A lot of times, man, we forget it's about them. Yeah. Even me, I ain't even want to front. Well, all three of my boys, them boys was Florida game down from the womb. You know what I'm saying? I was buying, booties and all. I'm talking about, and after a while, when my older son committed, I had to kind of step back. I mean, he ended up, going over there with Mike and Duke, and I didn't like it, but I had to realize, like, let them. I gotta let them do what they do, and I gotta really be more open to the idea that, hey, they may not like the color orange or blue. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's a conversation that I definitely respect, and I wish more parents was like that. I too fell victim to the, good old alumni. I got family, uncle, brother, sisters went to, so, but I respect that, and I wish it was like that across the board. But this is just, and another conversation that needs to be had. The NCAA should be ashamed of themselves. The way that they allowed this, because they allowed NIL to come to pass so that they wouldn't have to give these kids a proper balance of funds. And I think that when we talk about caring about the safety and caring about these kids' well-being, you just throw them in the water with a bunch of sharks, man. And
so my question to you, Mr. Hamilton, because I've been an advocate for paying these kids too. What would it look like for you?
I would have preferred for the NCAA, to come in and set a standard for whether it was a standard for a position with bonuses if you get to if you reach a certain accolade, or if you win the Heisman or do something like that. I just wish that it wasn't so, because it's the Wild Wild West right now. There's a kid. Just imagine your son. Let me say this: offensive linemen are very much important cogs to any successful team, but they don't get the respect or the fame or whatever. But imagine you blocking for your quarterback, and I'm not saying that the numbers are true, but let's just say you just signed with Outback Steakhouse and they give you free meals for your NIL, and your quarterback is making $13 million.
You're right.
As a
I
kid,
agree.
how do I feel like I matter? We talking about, as much as we try to claim that these kids is grown because they're 18, bro. When we was 18, we was out here wilding. So you still a kid, and at some point you devalue kids who feel like because every athlete is gonna feel like they just as good as the next athlete.
Just as important.
Especially. But if he's getting $13 million and y'all give me free steak, then you know what I'm saying? I just feel like the NCAA did a terrible thing because they wiped their hands of it, because what they wanted to do was they don't want to have to be forced to pay. And they also want to say, see, we told you shouldn't pay these players.
Correct.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Correct.
Like, if we care about
I told you so.
Yeah, if we care about the kids and we care about their well-being and we want them to be, all the hoopla, SEC, it just means more, man, we would have set a standard. Hey, even if they just think, and I'm going to say this out loud, I don't care who agree, even if you came to the table with minimum wage, and I'm not saying that they should have, but even, let's just say you get a minimum wage salary and you get incentives. You telling me y'all made billions of dollars? You can't, because what that allows, not only do you get minimum wage and incentives, you get a health care package or something along those lines where you're secure, but nobody is standing on the necks of nobody else.
But hold on though. But I don't mean to interrupt. But so I listen. Like I agree with you 1,000%. But now you're going down the road of employee. When you start talking about salary and benefits, right? Like you're talking about an employee. It's just like all of us are employed, and a part of our compensation is the benefits, right? The insurance, and all of the other things, right? So now you're going down the road of making them employees. So now we begin to ask the question of the whole student athlete thing gets thrown out of the window if they are employees, because if you are an employee, we all know that their job is to play football, and the education is the carrot we dangle in front of you. But the job is football. Don't get it twisted, right? But now we're going down the road of making them employees, and now you're talking about medical insurance, 401k, time off. They are employees of the university. So I agree with you 100%, but I think that's going to be the pushback.
And I agree to a certain extent, because it works in the NFL. It works different places, but I'm just saying the NCAA didn't come to the table with nothing. That's what I'm saying. I don't know the financials. Like that's not my purview. I don't know how they would break it down. I know it's hundreds of kids in the college, so I don't even know how they would break it down. I'm just throwing up stuff. But my thing is, there are people who get paid to balance finances, to make choices, to say we're going to purchase this, we're going to do. So you could have come to the table and be more intellectually sound than the average fan and said, to avoid what's happening now, because what's happening now is we're devaluing the actual sport. We're not only devaluing the sport, we're devaluing the idea of sportsmanship. We're devaluing, like, The bowl game is no longer important. This is no longer important. The kids is transferring if they don't get to start. If they want to find NIL opportunities else. It's the wild west. And think about the transfer portal. There's almost, I think they said that last check, there was like 3,000 plus kids that's just been stuck in there.
Yeah.
That's a disservice to these children, man. I mean,
well, but they're also getting, let's be honest, they're also getting bad advice.
Yeah, but that's for me. It's like if you tell me that you care about my well-being and you understand the environment much better than me, then you set yourself in a way that doesn't allow you to just get advice from a source. I want you to be informed of the choices that you're making. Just like when I put my name in for the draft. I don't know if anybody else is an athlete. When you submit your name for the draft, they literally send you back almost an 80-page draft summary. And they tell you, hey, we like your talents here, your strengths, your weaknesses, what teams need a player at your position, what fits do you have, what requirements that team may look for, what's the standard size for your position in the NBA. They give you they inform you so that you can pull your name or you can move forward. They also give you an average estimate of where they assume you will get drafted, et cetera, et cetera. But the NCAA, they just let these kids just jump out the window.
So do you think they're getting advice from their people around them or somebody that's looking out for their well-being?
Oh, that's absolutely what's happening. It's a bunch of people because let me tell you a secret, and this is being in the same environment with these parents. I have yet to meet a parent who doesn't think that their kid is the next LeBron James.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. So you got to think the parent that thinks that their child is LeBron James. Most of those parents also think that child is worth the type of player that they think he is. Mm-hmm. So they telling their story according to how they feel. You know what I'm saying? And what the NCAA should provide. I believe on every campus there should be somebody. So they should be forced to have on every campus a transfer portal specialist or a transfer portal counselor or something that tells you, hey, these are the teams that may be interested in something, or an NIL specialist opportunity that has a balance. NCAA should be paying these kids in balance so that there's no madness. There's no think about people who Nick Saban coming out talking about Bryce made $1 million before he even that's crazy. So you're saying the same thing about your running back, your wide receiver, your offensive lineman. You're not saying these same things. So it just to me it just sets you. And I get it because some people argue that in the NFL everybody don't get paid the same. I get it, but they get paid their worth.
So I want to go back to Scott's original question about kind of how we got here. I think maybe that was, and I may have misinterpreted the question, but I'm sorry. How we go about fixing it, right? I think that was the question.
What would you do if you had the opportunity?
Yeah. So first of all, I think that Hamilton is 1,000% right. Like the NCAA has completely washed their hands of this because they didn't want to deal with it. Right? They knew it was coming. They didn't want to deal with it. So fine, here it is. Just like I think they got sick of getting blamed for waivers. So we don't want to deal with the waivers. Fine, we'll give you this transfer portal, but we ain't regulating it, right?
Yeah.
So to me, what that sets up is first of all, we shouldn't have 50 different states with 50 different NIL rules.
True.
Right? Like the Florida law is different from the Georgia law. The Georgia law is different from the Alabama law. The Alabama law is different from the Texas law. The Texas law is different from the Louisiana law. But guess what? We're all in this thing called the SEC together, right?
Yep.
And then all of those laws are 100% different from the California law because going back to Rashada, as a California high school student, he can sign a letter of an NIL before he is a collegiate athlete. In Florida, in Georgia, you have to at least be on campus before you can sign that. That was the whole reason why Quinn Ewers left and went to Ohio, because in Texas, as a high school kid, he couldn't sign an NIL, right? All of that gets fixed if the NCAA does their job and says these are the uniform rules, or even if the NCAA isn't going to want to do it at that point. Greg Sankey, in my opinion, is the most powerful man in all of college football because he is the commissioner of the most important conference in college football. The SEC could say, you know what, the NCAA is not going to do it. We can't have all of our states have different rules. It's not a level playing field. These are our rules in the SEC. And this is the max. This is the max you can sign for. This is what you can do, et cetera, et cetera. There has to be some regulation in it. And if there's not going to be regulation in it, to the example, like it literally is the wild, wild west right now. And again, I don't want to make it a Florida thing, but from a Florida perspective, that's where it is so frustrating to me because it's like, it's literally the wild, wild west.
You can do it.
There ain't no rules. That means ramp up. If you let's not pretend like tampering isn't taking place. Go fucking tamper. Like Georgia got a bunch of 5-stars that might not be playing, but at the same time, like, hey, like you want to come down to Gainesville and we'll give you X.
Yeah. Tamper your ass off.
Tamper, cheat. Like there are no rules. There's no rule for tampering. There's no rule for NIL.
And when you say it like that, when you think about it, because there's no rules, you're not actually cheating.
Ramp up. Yes.
That's one thing. That's one thing I hated about Mark Richt because he played by the rules.
Yes,
he played by the goddamn rules.
I mean, like Coach Belichick has a saying that I think is like it's brilliant, right? He always says we're going to do business as business is being done.
Yes. Yeah.
So if they doing business that way, this is the way I'm gonna do my business. If we gonna do we'll do our business the way the business is being done.
Simple.
And so, like the NCAA has basically said, y'all figure this shit out.
Get busy. Yeah.
Yes.
Do what you want.
And the NCAA proved how worthless they were during the COVID season because they basically were like, y'all want to play? Okay, figure out the rules, figure out the testing, figure out your schedules. It became a conference issue, right? So again, if the NCAA isn't going to do anything, isn't going to regulate it, then it's going to fall on the conferences. The conferences have to do it because again, like the state of Florida, because of the NIL laws, unless they get amended, are on an uneven playing field to the other schools in the SEC. And then when you start to recruit these California kids who can sign an NIL before they even get on campus, it's where you're at an even bigger disadvantage because again, like, do you want to go? Do you want to go recruit kids that you have to pay up front, or would you rather them get on campus to make sure they get on campus before you then have to compensate them for NIL? So again, I couldn't agree more. This is the NCAA's fault. They should have led when they had the opportunity to lead. But since they're not going to lead, then the conference, I think, has to step up and say, okay, we have uniform rules. These are the rules. Abide by it. If you break these rules, then we're going to pop you.
And I believe it, going back to your point, Cam, I really believe if the SEC decided to do that, people will follow suit. I really believe that.
Yes, because when we decided we wanted to play football during the COVID year, what everybody else say? Well, I mean, shit, I guess we'll play football too, right? Everybody else follows suit. So again, like you asked how I would fix it. It starts with first saying, all right, like we got 50 different states with 50 different NIL rules. That doesn't make sense. We got to have some uniformity.
That's one thing I say about fucking officiating, because I officiate and we play in the same sport, but each level got their own rules. Like that's stupid. That's insane. But that's retarded. But yeah, I get it. I understand.
But if you're a school like Florida, and things are, because we could all want changes, and I appreciate it. I want change. Cav said I know all of us agree that the kids should be better taken care of. But the reality is, it is exactly what it is. And if you're a school like Florida that isn't taking advantage, because again, it's not actually cheating because there are no rules. There's nothing. You can't be violated for something that isn't criminal.
Isn't
You
in
can't
place.
be walking down the street eating cotton candy and get arrested for eating. It's just not. So when
Mm-hmm.
you realize that there's no rules and you still sit back on your ass and you say, oh, but we don't feel comfortable, then how serious are you about winning chips? And if I,
Same
as
here.
alumni, former player, et cetera, feel that way, how do the kids feel? How do the kids' parents feel? Like y'all ain't serious. You know what I'm saying? Like
Exactly.
y'all
Exactly how I felt.
like.
Exactly how I felt about Mark Rick, man. And he just went cheap, man.
In Mark Rick's defense, he was cheating. He was refusing to cheat against actual rules. There was rule. NIL wasn't popping. There was some standards you had to meet. Now it's the wild, wild west in Florida. Like, we don't really want to participate, and it just
Mm.
seems. It's like, come on, bro. Like, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
get
Mm-hmm.
in.
And see, like Mr. Hamilton, and that's why Scott. That's why, like Florida, where we at now, people want to say, "Oh, this and that," like compare where y'all at now. Like, look at that's why I say, like y'all Alabama 2.0 because Saban took that same blueprint at at Alabama and took it to you guys.
Hey, let me ask you a question, Larry. How many back to backs have Saban won?
One,
How many back to backs have Kirby been a part of?
all of them.
Oh, okay. I was just asking. I
Okay.
just thought about that. I just thought about that. You know what I'm saying? I just thought about that.
But not no, but for
But
real,
I
that's why.
understand what you're saying,
Yeah,
though, bro.
yeah, like you know what I'm saying. Like that's where where we at now, bro. Like, come on, bro. Like,
But
and
but
that's
the one thing I give Nick Saban is he's so that man different, man, because y'all don't realize how much just being in them little Geico commercials is like free marketing for like he different, man. He I
And
can't say.
that's one thing I fucking commend for Dion, because everywhere he go, he have on Colorado stuff. Like everywhere
right.
he go,
Yeah, man.
and
They are actually probably two of the most dangerous people to
yeah,
be in this college football spectrum because
I agree. I agree.
Dion got all the relations. I mean, Dion
Yes,
could go in anybody's house and take the top. Right? Like
easy,
you just he got the
easy.
charisma, he got the he got the social
Swag.
media, he got the swag, he got the friends. I mean, I mean, everybody loves him, but Nick Saban also understands how to take advantage of every single thing he got. So it's
Mm-hmm.
I respect them, but I can't stand either one of them as college football coaches because they fuck up my whole vibe because I ain't got no coach like that on my side right now.
Right, Mr. Hamilton, what you think about the Cav? You seen the timeline how Carmoni lied about? He said he was in Tampa, but is in Colorado.
Bro, let me listen. I'm gonna tell you this. I know them, bro. That is it. If somebody came to me and asked me, and I don't mean no disrespect to the family, the McLean family, and they said to me, should we recruit Cormani? I would have told them, me personally, go get the other two or three best cornerbacks in the game and let everybody else fight. Because that lady that put him into this world, she don't play, man. She want she want all the attention. She different, man. So he just feeding on, and he's a mama's boy. So he feeds
Right,
off of that energy.
right.
And I just think that he's one of those players that's always until he either separates or something, he's just always gonna be drama. It's always gonna be drama. I mean, it don't matter who he commit to this year. Hear me when I say it does not matter who he could commit to goddamn West Bubblefuck University. Next year, when it's come transfer portal time, be wary. Because
But let me
it's
ask
like
you
a
this.
reality show,
But I think Dion. The reason why I say he need to go with Dion because Dion gonna hold him accountable.
man.
He's the only person that can handle that personality.
I mean, maybe. I don't think Dion is as committed to these kids as people think. But I mean, maybe. I just feel like if you ever around it, you just know that it's ratchet. It's like Love and Hip Hop, Lakeland. You know what I'm saying? Like,
hey, I heard that though.
yeah, it's different over there. And the kid himself, he's highly intelligent, but he's very much committed to his mom's energy. And she ain't bad people. She just got that. She like the Jocelyn. If you ever watch Love and Hip Hop, you see Jocelyn Hernandez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She can have that. They can have that energy right there.
And that's what I'm saying. I get the talent, but in this, if let's just say if NIL wasn't available, I say recruit your ass off. But because of this, whew, that thing gonna be drama, man. That thing gonna be drama.
I think for me, like I think he has to decide. I go back to like what Sharif Denson, our cornerback, said about him. Like he just needs to find a place to go somewhere and work. Like I do wonder, like when all of the recruiting games and the trips and the photo shoots are over and it's time to just work and play football, like does he really love football? I mean, I've never met him. I've never spoken to him. I don't, but I do know that like when so here's what this thing tells me. This thing tells me, much like Rashada, he never really wanted to go to Miami, but the NIL money going to Miami, it's just insane right now because of Ruiz and in their system. So to me, that means that he probably never really wanted to go to Miami because here's the thing, like we spoke about this the last time I was on here. Like Boulder, Colorado, when you a Florida kid, like that's on the other side of the world. And in that cold and bold, like in Florida, 50 degrees is kind of chilly, right?
Yeah.
Like you might get 50 degrees in the summertime out there. I mean, I think it gets warmer than that, but my point is like it's a much different. So for him to be willing to go to Boulder, I think that tells me, one, he never really wanted to go to Miami. And two, that Alabama probably quit calling. I'm pretty confident that we quit calling. So he's down to really like his last option.
Yeah, Alabama quit calling a while. I can tell you this personally. Nick Saban ain't on that. And I can say this. I'm not gonna say Monty don't love football. But they love that energy. They love the attention. They love they're gonna be. They have. I don't know if y'all remember when Dion first came. You know, when Dion came to the NFL. You know, he was flashy. He was flamboyant. But the thing with Dion was like a natural beast. His talent was ridiculous, but he worked. But he worked because his parents didn't play that. Like his peoples ain't play that shit. But he also was driven to get his people out of there. Monty don't have that same push. Like he ain't saving nobody. You know what I'm saying? So I hope for his benefit that he locked in. But I wouldn't be surprised if he faltered because I'm saying this, Cal, from a personal. Anybody who been in Lake, who been around, boy, it's different. They vibe. They enjoy attention. They enjoy that stuff. So I hope he gets over there, and I don't know. I've heard some things about Dion that he's not as locked in on these players as he promotes. But I hope he locks in with Dion because Dion gonna give him. If he can get game from Dion, I think you put yourself above all. If you can get that game from him, because Dion different, man. I mean, I don't give a damn how old he is. That dude is different. You know what I'm saying? So I hope for his sake he locks in. I wouldn't be surprised if wherever he commit, come this time next year, we talking about him again because he in the transfer portal.
Yeah, I think more than anything, like I just want him to like. I just want him to go. Like the talent is there. Just go play to the talent.
Yeah, true.
That's what I want for him. Like just go play. Like quit the games, quit the BS, and that's why I say like. Does he really, really love football? Because I think he loves this recruiting thing, but I don't know if he loves football. And if you go into Boulder, Colorado, you better love football.
So You don't think because I've heard Dion say like he don't want those that like Mr. Hamilton was saying that already got it. Like he wants some dogs that's playing for something. So y'all don't think that guy will at the
Let
end
me
of the
tell you a
day.
secret about. Let me tell you a secret about real deal football. Deion can say anything he wants at Jackson State. At Colorado, his job is to bring in the absolute best. All
Right.
that
No,
shit, he
I'm
only
saying
want dogs and
I
all that.
know I get
Deion
that.
gonna
I
take
get
whatever he
that.
gonna get at Colorado. Them
No, I
folks ain't
get
playing
that.
that shit.
I get that, but I'm saying at the end of the day, y'all think that guy is like going like Cav said, going work, like put the work in. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
mean, you can
Only
only
he
hope.
knows. Only
You
he
can only
knows.
hope. Yeah, you can only hope for that. But I can tell you this: that if he doesn't, it's gonna show early. Because one thing about Deion, he can't help himself. He gonna speak to some. He gonna speak his mind to somebody about something. So I mean, but I hope because I mean, there's so much talent there. I mean, the height, the speed. The boy got talent, man, like big time talent. And if he could lock in, boy, he could change some lives and also change his own life.
Right.
But again, like Cal said, we talking Colorado. That boy born and bred in Florida, bro.
Yeah.
Colorado.
That's a different world.
When you outside playing football in Colorado in the fall, woo!
That's what I'm saying. Like you know, in Florida, like 50, 55 degrees is kind of chilly. It's like, bro, I might need a jacket today. Like that's like you might get a high of 55 degrees in like May.
For real. I'm just saying. So
it's a different world. So
world.
and I think it's a different world for Deion being out there. Like, bro, like this. I don't know. We'll see.
But you were saying it's not like it's 55, but it ain't like wet cold.
Yeah, I mean, Florida don't really get cold. Florida might get a little chilly.
Before, Scott.
But boy, that Colorado, I've been to Denver.
I wasn't there when it was miserable, but Georgia cold versus Colorado cold when I was there is not the same. Like Georgia cold is like piercing, like skin piercing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When I was in Colorado, it was cold. Like Kevin said, like it was cold, but it wasn't like skin piercing cold. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a different type of cold when it got there.
Yeah, but I think I mean I would assume again, I've never lived out there, but I would assume because of the elevation, it's even colder.
Oh yeah.
Because you're you know, like they're much more higher above sea level, which means that it's, you know, I don't know. Again, I would think it would be colder.
It transfixes your breathing too. Now you gonna have you work harder. Your lungs work harder up there.
Yeah,
man. So
that's for sure.
It's going. It's you know we gonna see quick. We should probably know. We might know before the season even started. If he end up committing to them, it's gonna take some work, man.
Let me ask you that before we end tonight, man. Appreciate you guys coming on. Last thing, man, Cav and Mr. Hamilton, especially you, Cav. You know, the rumor on the street is CJ Stroud. They offered, I don't know how true it is. They said they offered a man $4 or $5 million to come back. What you think you guys do? What you think you should do?
So I told y'all before, man. Like Ohio State's the only other team besides Florida that I watch week in and week out. I'm intrigued by it because, so here's the thing. This is what I look like. Like, how much more can he improve his draft stock, right? Like, he probably would be the second quarterback taken off the board because I still would take him over Will Levis. So, do you go from being the second quarterback to the first quarterback coming back? And then, like, from a money perspective, like, what is the money difference between being the second pick versus the fourth pick? So that's one thing I'm looking at it now. From a positive perspective, like Brian Hartline is the new OC, Marvin is there, Fleming should be back, Ubuka should be back. So essentially, the three receivers that you played with all this season, all those guys are back. I think that both of the running backs, Mayan Henderson, Trevion Thomas, I think they should be back. So as long as those guys are all back, I don't know why he wouldn't go back. But at the same time, like, how much more is he going to improve his draft stock? I mean, what is he going back to do? Is he going back to win a Big Ten title because he never won one of those? Is he going back to try to get back to the playoff? Because you could argue they maybe should have won this game this year. Like, I don't know what the motivation is, but I mean, like, I don't know how much more CJ improves his draft stock by coming back another year.
Kev,
But go ahead.
No, you said he'll be the second quarterback. Are you speaking because Bryce Young?
Yeah, I think Bryce is
So
the first quarterback off the
what,
board. Go ahead.
in your opinion, what separates them?
I think Bryce is a lot more fluid in his running, in his movement, and I think that Bryce is a lot more accurate than what CJ is. There's been times, like when I see CJ, like I get disappointed in him, and I also get disappointed in Ryan Day because like they make it a lot harder than what it needs to be. And
what
again,
it
like
should be.
correct.
Yes.
And I'm not there. I'm not calling plays. I'm not there playing quarterback. But it's like, let's be honest with you. Like, it's the Big Ten. You got all them weapons. Like,
Bro,
you should be
no
lighting it
way
up.
they shouldn't. It ain't no way they shouldn't have scored on their last drive. No way.
That they
Absolutely
shouldn't have.
no way. Right. That's my yes.
Right. Yes.
No,
Correct.
no
Correct.
way they shouldn't have scored.
Well, because after CJ made the long run, Ryan Day decided a 40, 50-yard field goal is good enough for me because I'm in quote field goal range, opposed to staying aggressive.
Right.
They were winning that game because they were aggressive and they had more guys that could get open than Georgia had that could cover. And
I'm gonna say this, Cal.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna say this, bro. Seeing him play, I like him, and I don't like a lot of quarterbacks because I used to play quarterback, but him and Bryce, I think the only difference, and again, you saw him way more than I did. And I only saw him against Georgia. The only difference is, and one of my buddies was saying that he didn't run, like he didn't run throughout the season or what have you. But that game right there, Cal, he was impressive.
Yeah,
he was impressive.
But that was the reason. If you go back to the last time I was on the pod, that's the reason why I was saying that was the matchup I wanted to see, was Ohio State in those weapons against Georgia in that defense, because it's really good versus really good, and we're going to figure out. It's really, and that's why I kept saying, like, they have more. Again, they got Marvin, they got Fleming, they got Ibuka, they had Stover, the tight end, and when healthy, they had two good running backs. So they have more than anybody can cover. It's just a matter of them going out there and executing and doing it. So to go back to the question, I don't know, Larrick. I mean, like, you got all those pieces coming back. Like, how much more can he improve his draft stock? Does he go from being the second quarterback off the board to being the first quarterback next year? Like, I don't know who is coming out next year. I guess you would have Hartman. You would have the guy May at North Carolina. So again, like, it's some guys out there who might, like, I still don't understand the Will Levis thing, but Will Levis is going to be the third, maybe fourth quarterback off the board. There's some people even talking about Will could be number one. He could go before Bryce.
Yeah, I've heard that too, and that's bogus in my opinion.
That's nuts.
But that's crazy.
So I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much better CJ improves his situation. I would love to see him back because, like, I don't really care too much about the NFL, so I'd much rather see him play on Saturdays. But I don't know, man. Like, it'd be a different story.
I say go get that NFL.
If he comes back, they gonna ring the fucking table.
I'm just gonna say it, but I don't give a damn what you got going back to, man. Go get that NFL money.
Get that money.
Go secure the bag, because man, one wrong, and that's that.
Anything can happen.
I never want. I don't give a damn.
Anything can happen.
You can go to fourth round, third round. Listen, go get that NFL money. Go get that medical. Go get that. Go get your money, man. Because boy,
you know what? But
nobody.
I was watching Shaq documentary, and he had the opportunity to leave college early,
and his dad was like, no, because if you get injured playing professional basketball, then what are you going to fall back on? So I think a lot of people. I'm with you, Mr. Hamilton. I'm saying go get that bag, but then a lot of people be like, so
Yeah,
if
but you
you
got
get
to
hurt,
realize
then what are you going?
Shaq's father was of the old school. Let me tell you something
Yeah,
about reality. A degree don't guarantee you shit.
I
Correct.
agree
A
with that. I
degree.
fucking agree with that.
I got an MBA from the University of Florida. That shit don't guarantee you nothing. So if I'm making and guess what? You can always go back to school. If you get injured,
Mm,
if you tear your shit up, you can't always get back to the NFL. You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, for sure.
I just say go get your money, go take care of your family. I'm always pro that. I don't care where a
Yeah,
kid come from, if they affluent
I
or
am
not.
too.
Just go
Yeah,
secure that.
I am too. Yeah,
Man.
go get that money while you can,
Yeah.
cause that window's small, man. That
Oh yeah.
window is fucking small.
Here today, gone tomorrow. They love you
Yep,
today. They hate your
yep,
ass tomorrow.
yep. That
But I
window
think
fucking small, boy.
I think in the end, as much as I would love to see him come back, I think he's going to turn pro. But the fact that he hasn't declared and
Yeah,
tomorrow is
yeah.
the deadline, I think that it's a real conversation that's taking place. And who knows, like you were talking about all of the stuff you get when you kind of put your name out there to get where you are in the draft, like
Maybe he heard something. Yeah.
yes, like maybe we see him as the number 2 quarterback
Yeah.
on the board, but in
True.
reality, they might have Anthony ahead of him. They might
True.
have Will Levis ahead of him. So
True.
we see him as the second one, but the NFL sees him as the 4th or 5th. And so
True
it's like, okay, well, I can, maybe I can improve by coming back, and especially if Hartline is going to call the plays.
Yeah,
you're
right.
They'll be a lot more aggressive. But I just don't know.
I believe that's actually what happened. Because I mean, there's no other reason to push it this close.
Yeah.
Because I believe that he probably didn't get the grade that he thought he would get. And he's talking to different people to figure out what it will do for his grade by coming back. Because we talking about the deadline is tomorrow.
It's tomorrow.
Today, basically.
Yeah,
no, tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. And he still hasn't declared. So I think that grade is definitely probably an issue. And I respect kids that come back. Ricky Pearsall coming back. Hey man, go, if that's your choice, I'm never gonna knock you for your choice. And I hope you ball the fuck out and do everything you want to do. But if it's either college or getting that bag, I'm gonna say go get that bag.
But here's the thing though, too, like, and this is the thing that we don't talk about, or I don't think it's talked about enough. Like, we don't know, like, we look at it from the perspective of like kids who need the money to like change their situation.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I know they're from California, but I mean, like, they could come from, like, the family could be in good shape. You see, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's almost like, like when the time comes for Arch, like, there's not going to be this, all right, you got to turn pro because we got to keep the lights on, So for CJ, I don't know if the money is, it could just be like, all right, like, granted, it's his own money, it's generational money.
Yeah.
But it might not be shit, if I don't turn pro and get an agent, advance, then, mom might not be able to pay rent or keep the lights on.
Right.
And I respect that. I get it. But I'm of the mindset, affluent or not, go get because at the end of the day, I don't care where you come from. If you go out in game 1 or 6 of Ohio State and you tell that's it.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have to make it another way. So
yeah, but they play though with insurance though. Like, I think those top guys, they get those insurance policies that guarantees them for, say, like,
Yeah, but that insurance ain't gonna be no NFL contract.
Oh, agreed.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, it's not like you go out there and you get hurt and then you don't get taken in the draft. Because I think, what was the guy's name? The linebacker at Notre Dame that tore his ACL in that Fiesta Bowl. Like, he had the insurance money to basically
I had it too. I get it, but I'm speaking from experience. When I got shot and I couldn't. I ended up my draft stock plummeted, and I never was able to live out my. It's a regret that
it hurts.
You've been busting your ass. I started dribbling the ball at 4. You know what I'm saying? Then for it to come full circle and one night at a club go left, and you know, I go from being the top 12 pick to, you know, having to go overseas for a few years. It's just, you know what I'm saying? You know, you want to think about that dream. You want to see your talents come full circle. At least for me, I know I damn sure did.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, man, because I assumed that he would be like the morning after the Peach Bowl, or you know, whenever it was that they lost, he would have declared. But again, the fact that we now are like 24 hours away, and there's some real conversation.
I think he's really making a serious decision. I think it's definitely a heavy conversation because we talking about hella close. Well, we talking about and we talking about the quarterback position. It ain't like he a running back or no, you know what I'm saying? Like we talking about the premier position. So I wouldn't be surprised if he could come back to Ohio State, and if he do, I hope they ball out, man.
Yeah,
get it all, man.
Well,
they will. I believe they will.
In the playoffs, spank Georgia ass in the playoffs this time around. You know?
He gonna choke again.
They did that this year, but they just ain't. You know, I mean,
they ain't completed.
They choke.
Gotta
Man.
finish.
That's it. They choke. Everybody
I still can't believe Ryan Day felt comfortable at like a 40, 50-yard field goal.
But the thing with that is his kicker ain't even lit like that though. That's my thing. Like it ain't like
oh no, Mr. Hamilton. They've been saying he was legit the entire year though. For real.
But I think he only missed 2 all season.
But he wasn't out here kicking 50-yard field goals though.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was, Mr. Hamilton.
Man, he kicked that ball to my front door.
When they got in,
so mad, bro.
He landed on my doorstep.
Man.
When they got in the field goal range, I was like, just don't let them get closer. Please don't let them get closer.
Yeah, it says 6-year kicker Noah Ruggles missed a 50-yard field goal. It would have been his longest attempt of his career.
That's insane. That's bad coaching.
I'm just saying, y'all just said he was out here kicking. I know what the fuck I be talking about, man. Y'all
but for his kicks though, he had only missed 2 all season.
Yeah, he's 37 of 41 on field goals, but his longest field goal of his career was 36 yards.
Oh my God, that's bad coaching.
I'm just saying.
That's egregious coaching because
if you have like an Eddie Pinheiro on that man, like that boy was, you know what I'm saying? Like, go ahead, do your thing, but you got a kicker he ain't out here kicking. This is the biggest game of his career, man.
Yeah, and it's the game to send you to the national championship, the last play of the goddamn game. That's a lot of pressure. A lot of pressure.
That's a whole lot of pressure, man. I don't give a fuck if you're the best kicker in the world. That's a lot of pressure.
It's a lot of pressure. A lot of pressure. Larry, hey, Larry, before we end this, Larry, can we all agree that Larry need to change his smoke detector thing? Please.
Bro, I ain't got no ladder, bro. I'm sorry. I'm gonna change it tomorrow though. For real, I just can't. For real. It's just annoying to me.
Sometimes some people find soothing in that little beat, man. I swear.
Nah.
Some people feel like they ain't home if they don't hear that little beat. Hey man, it was a pleasure talking to you guys, man. I don't know about y'all Georgia fans. I can't wait till y'all experience y'all next 40 years of the championship.
Hey, me too.
Hey, hold on, before
I be losing arguments. I'm like, what the fuck is I'm losing arguments to Georgia? What the fuck?
Right.
Mr. Hamilton, before you get out of here, Mr. Hamilton, I gotta ask this question. When the last time you won a national championship?
Oh my God.
Hey man, first off, I mean, I personally hold 2 rings. I mean, not on the football side, but it's been a while. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna act like it ain't been a while. The reality is, you know, if it was up to me, I feel like Georgia been cheating since 2012. So it's right, y'all got a championship or 2. But y'all gonna go back to that real.
You know, they just started football, Mr. Hamilton. They just started football when Kirby got there.
Everybody, our run gonna end for sure.
Kirby's in Arizona. You ain't heard?
Nah, I ain't heard that now. I ain't
He
heard
ain't
that now,
going to
Mr.
no
Hamilton.
Arizona.
You nervous?
I ain't heard that now, Mr. Hamilton.
You don't want to see him. You don't want to see him replace Cliff Kingsbury.
Absolutely, I don't want to see him replace you. No, absolutely not. No, sir. No, sir.
I hope next year y'all win 3 games and go back to the things. Go back to the. I need these because right now things just ain't normal. Florida losing quarterbacks that's already signed. Georgia out here winning championships. What is going on? You know what I'm saying? Like,
they got a disease out here that nobody can cure.
I'm
All
just saying,
kinds of shit going on, ain't it?
all kind of shit. Yeah, President Trump about to run for president again. I thought that shit.
Mr. Hamilton, hey, I'm living in a nightmare and feel like I can't wake up, bro.
I'm just saying, yeah, it ain't the same, man. I'm talking about it ain't the same. I mean, rappers out here shooting other female rappers. You know, all kinds of shit you just never heard before.
Right.
I don't know what the fuck is going on.
The world about to come to an end.
Men getting lace fronts and women
right.
BBLs. It's all kind of, I don't know what the fuck. You know what I'm saying? I just need things to go back to normal. Let men who ball just go ball. Let the women go back to natural. And let Georgia go back to losing. You know what I'm saying? Tennessee out here going up. Korea, you know, they out here balling, looking like a real football team. No, man, come on, man, no.
Hey, Cav. Aren't they trying to come to the swamp? So we need to get warm.
Well, you know, I don't go to the Tennessee game. That's just an opportunity for me to mark up my tickets and sell them to old timers who still value the Florida Tennessee game. So I won't see them there.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, that rivalry, man.
It's dead.
That shit there on life support, but that shit there ain't even it.
Yeah,
Hold on, what right?
he should absolutely come to the swamp.
That Tennessee,
yeah, I said we're gonna go. I told him I'd go.
Hey.
I mean, after we lost to Vanderbilt, if I'm being honest, we need to stop those Cowboys right now. I mean, we need to turn back into a football team before we start hollering about rivalry.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Only team I care about whooping their ass, like I'm seriously dead on, Florida State. I gotta see them niggas get slapped up. I ain't even gonna lie. I need that slap down. I need that more than I need Georgia. More I need because I got a bunch of cousins. My uncle coached the basketball team. I hate them up. So I be
Florida State be talking shit like that.
You have no idea.
I got him, boy. I'm talking about, I got him in my family. My uncle, the coach up there. Oh Lord, I'm talking about, I be hearing that when they win. Oh Lord, my life be miserable from like November to February. Man, I be going through it. I be ready to whoop everybody. So yeah,
so they talk more than that. That's what you tell me.
I mean, I don't really pay Georgia Bulldog fans any attention because you know a lot of y'all, especially on social media, y'all be on some weirdo shit. So I mean,
hold on, whoa.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying, if you've seen some of the trolls,
I got you.
Them boys, they be doing some other shit, and
that's them boys that just jumped on. I don't know about them dudes. I can't speak for them.
Yeah, Georgia, they be wilding, but Florida, I got it with my family, so you know they get personal. They go, you know, they got a nigga cell phone number. They just be calling, leaving voicemails, getting with
Lord.
So I just want to see them get slapped up.
Bro, Jaguar just came back from 27.
Oh yeah, they got to fire that coach of LA Chargers.
Wow,
you got to get fired after that, man. I mean, a boy threw 4 interceptions and came back.
The game's over with, man. The game's over.
Yeah, somebody got to get fired.
Wow, somebody got to get fired over there now. But
I can't imagine Chargers fan right about now. Woof.
They'll be all right. They got Herbert. That's all they talk about. But anyway.
Boy, that's a long flight back out to LA. Right?
That's a long flight. Hey, Cal, that's a long, quiet flight.
Oh my God.
Be quiet the hell on it.
Man.
What can you say though? What would you say?
Yes, right.
You finally got in the playoffs, and you lost, and he threw 4 picks. Like, bruh, come on now. You ain't capitalized on none of that.
Yeah, that's crazy. And I think they was down at one point like 20-0. Like
27.
27-0, bro.
Yeah, you can't. And they beat y'all 31-30. Ooh, yeah.
I ain't gonna lie though, bro. They ain't quit. They didn't quit.
I don't give a fuck, bro. 27-0, bro. Come on, man. That's worse than the 24-3 game. At least goddamn New England had the GOAT on their team. Nigga,
hold on, I know you just bring up the you bring up the Falcons. Oh,
I'm just saying. I'm just saying the Falcons at least could say Tom Brady was on the other side and Bill Belichick.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he
I mean, all Chargers fans can say is sunshine. You know, sunshine was on the you know what I'm saying?
Sunshine threw 4 picks.
Yeah,
what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
Sunshine got busy in that second half, though.
He did get busy. The defense played good too.
But imagine being down 20. That means you scored 3 points for the rest of the game and gave up 31.
Damn,
that's nasty.
Crazy.
That's nasty.
That's crazy.
That's nasty.
Never give up, bro. You never give up, dog. You never know.
Listen, this ain't the movies, bro. That ain't I'm about 27-0 though. Oh Lord, you gave up 31 and scored 3. Oof. Yeah, everybody got to get somebody got to get fired tonight. Somebody got to get left off the plane. Type vibes. Like
couple of defense players got to get left off too, man. Yeah, they did a terrible job, man. I mean, they actually did good, man. They got 4 picks. I don't know what to tell you.
Asante Samuel got 3 of them shit. So I mean,
Jesus Christ, man, he like your dad, huh?
At least for that game, I bet he don't feel like his dad.
His dad dropped the most important one though.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, Eli threw a pass to Asante.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah, the perfect season too. Oh yeah. Yeah, that was
yuck.
Yeah, that was disgusting.
Fucking
so
Eli.
they'll cry together tonight.
Yep.
But yeah, man, it was a pleasure speaking to y'all. I'll jump back in here.
Oh yeah, yes sir.
As the rumors swirl, because Florida still got hell to give come Monday, and Rashada don't come. So we'll have a bunch of shit.
Well, he can't come until the summer, right? Now.
Nah, he can get away.
Nah, listen, Larry. The deadline was Friday, but if they need the deadline to be Monday, the deadline can be Monday.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Or Monday's a holiday. The deadline can be Tuesday if they need it to be Tuesday.
If there's any window,
what's Monday? Hold on. Oh, that's
they gonna sign that.
Yeah.
They need to put that sunglass emoji out for Rashada, boy. They need that shit better. They need him more than they need any other.
But I mean, I don't want to prolong the conversation, but at this point, it might just be better for both sides to split because, like, I'm gonna be honest with you, if I'm in the locker room and he come in there, I'm gonna feel some kind of way, like, bro, like you ain't like you want to be a part of this, but you only want to be a part of this if the money is right. So again, business is business, but I think at this point it might be best for both sides to just split because again,
But this a new generation, man. David Connor posted the Georgia championship on his team, man.
Yeah.
He's playing different.
Yeah.
I don't think they care like that no more. They'll embrace him like ain't nothing happened. But you might be right though. I think it'll allow for somebody to get put a fire. At least there's that. Maybe it'll put a fire up under the admin's ass and be like, we got to do better.
That's my hope. Is that that the right people.
I hope that new president do something.
Yeah. Oh no, you don't got to worry about him. He's a politician. You might as well cancel that check.
Yeah, but he's also a big football fan too, though. I mean, being from Nebraska. But yes, I mean, I think he is a politician. But I think being a politician, he's skilled at bullshitting multiple sides.
Okay, I can do that perspective.
So I think that's
a great point.
I mean, if you're a sitting senator, like let's not pretend like they play Republicans and Democrats when you know what I mean, they smoozing and they kicking it behind the scenes. So I think being a former politician, he's skilled at playing the game and compromise and again, but we'll see.
We'll see. We damn sure will.
Yeah. Man, I appreciate you, man. Man, this has been a great conversation. This has been good, man. I appreciate you, Cav, for always.
Of course.
And before I go, too, before we slide, congratulations to them whack ass Georgia Bulldogs. Y'all,
Well, I'll take that.
y'all did y'all thing. Y'all
Thank you, man. Thank you. God damn,
I ain't gonna throw no shade to Indy.
Please, though.
Congratulations, man. And I hope y'all get 40 more years before it happens again.
Oh Lord.
Mr. Hamilton and Calvin, I really appreciate you guys. As for Larry, you already know what you do.
Yeah, you lost your mind. Yeah, I appreciate Mr. Calvin, Mr. Hamilton. Y'all some realistic guys.
Yeah, man. Absolutely.
Y'all be safe, man.
All right, man. Y'all take care. All right.
It's a wrap for the love of the game, man.